Jesus Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine wanted to be in this.
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
All right, it's time. Another week of N4G Radio. This is episode 651. The episode not quite as good as episode 650 for May the 10th, 2021.
I can't believe I missed that.
I know everybody missed. Like I made fun of you and Drew because you both missed it.
Well, I had my boy, so I couldn't really be on, but it's just typical.
I'm gonna try to continue to nudge him. He said that he will try to make more shows. But we do not have GambusCon this week, so if that's why you were tuning in, thanks for listening to the intro. Goodbye. But on the show this week, we have John, as you can hear.
Yep.
And we have Anthony.
Hello.
And that's it. But it is a pretty big week. There's a lot of games to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with Anthony, because I know you didn't play much.
Switch to John first, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Well,
because I have something that'll segue right into something you talk about, Ken.
Okay, well then I'll start with John.
This will be short. I did finish Control. I finished the main campaign. I liked that game. That game's story was great. It kind of answered enough, but left enough unanswered to kind of set up something else. And I thought that was cool. I haven't done the DLC yet, but
there's a lot to the DLC. Like, there's 2 DLC packs, and the funny thing is, you can kind of start one of them while you're. I accidentally started it.
Yes, so did I.
Yeah,
the Alan Wake one. I accidentally started that, and then thought, you know what, I'll wait until I've completed the main game. So I left that quest undone. And then yes, once you complete the game, the foundation bit unlocks, which again I've not gone on done any of the other than the little bit of the Alan Wake one I accidentally done. I haven't done any of the DLC, but I will go back to do that because again I enjoyed that game, and as I suspected, as you get more powers, it becomes a lot more fun. Combat becomes a lot more exciting, and the ashtray maze. Oh my god, that section is.
Incredible.
Fucking believable.
Did you play Alan Wake?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So the ashtray maze reminded me of a specific spot in Alan Wake, and I won't go any further than that. But there's a moment that it is very similar in the way that it works and sounds.
Okay, I just thought that was fantastic. It just came out of nowhere, and yeah, that was clever.
Now, did you try entering the ashtray maze long before you were supposed to? Yeah, that's what worked so well for me, because I was like, there's got to be a trick to this. Not really.
Yeah, no, that's it. I thought, well, maybe I'm missing an ability or something. I'll come back later, and it wasn't. It was a story. But still, it was, it would have been a hell of a lot better had it not fucked up just as I got towards the end. There's a section where you've got to reach up quite high. You've got to have the levitation power, and you've got to reach up quite high. It's just literally on the final run of the level, and it glitched, and no enemies spawned, so I couldn't progress. The platforms wouldn't raise high enough for me to get to where I needed to get. So I was that, but still, that has to be one of the best moments in recent history in video game, and that was pretty fucking good. I
Yep.
like that.
That's one of
So-
the best parts of that game.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I will happily. I don't know if we'll get one. I'm sure we will, because I think Control not only sold incredibly well, but was critically received as well. I'd like to see I'd like to see further adventures of Faden. That would be pretty cool. And the only other thing I really played is Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Yeah, I'm playing that as well, and goddamn, I forgot how long that fucking tutorial is.
Yeah,
that tutorial is the first island.
Yeah,
yes,
And
that
then you
I
go
am
back.
currently on that first island, and it's pretty.
it's heavy-handed as shit.
And don't go exploring.
There's no point.
You have to end up doing the same thing over and over anyways, or you have to do
Okay.
the same thing again. If you go exploring, there's a couple things you can find, but for the most part, like I did a bunch of exploring, and then I had to go back to the spots I explored in to get things later on, and I was like, well, that
Don't
was a
bother.
waste of my time. Yeah.
Just basically get through the tutorial.
Yeah.
Well, I tried. The other game I tried I didn't play much of was My Time in Porsche, because both of those are Game Pass games now, and they're both essentially the same kind of thing. They're both like builder type games with RPG and action and combat mechanics built in. Yes, you're talking about Square Enix, you're talking about Dragon Quest franchise. It's a popular franchise, but the level of quality between the two is quite substantial. And Dragon Quest Builders 2 is a lot more solid, a lot more fun to play. So far, anyway. I'll give it a go again. It's on Game Pass, so I thought, well, it's one I wanted to try. It's not going to cost me anything to try out. If I don't like it, so be it. But it's okay so far. But again, I am just in the tutorial island at the moment.
I think I preferred the first Dragon Quest Builders.
The only
Played it.
thing I didn't like about the first one is how you lose. Excuse me, is how you lose everything when you go to the next level.
Yeah, like it's level based, which kind of is annoying, and without a companion, like Mal, whatever his name
Malif.
is. Yeah, without him, like, because he does a bunch of attacking. You don't have that in the first game, but I felt like the first game was a better mix of like older Zelda games mixed with Minecraft, and I preferred that over the sequel's more building based ideas. I don't know how to put that. Like, you're farming in the second game and stuff, and like the first game isn't like that. But I did like that
I don't want to be a farming.
the first game takes place after the first, like in an alternate version of the world left after the first Dragon Quest, and the second Dragon Quest Builders 2 takes place after Dragon Quest 2's ending. I did like that concept.
Oh, fair. I'm not a huge Dragon Quest person, to be fair. So, the most I've played is the most recent one, the Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it was
again,
on
that's
Game Pass. That's the joke.
Yes, it's on Game Pass. Yes, and then I did, and I'm sure you'll talk about this a bit more because you'll have probably done more than me. But I did try Titanfall 2 with the boost,
I did.
and that game looks and feels incredible. 120 frames per second in 4K HDR. It's all beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
74 games added on Monday. Holy Toledo.
Yeah, that's going to be. I think it's going to end up being one of those things where they're going to get to a point where they can virtually do all of them, with the odd maybe exception here and there. It wouldn't surprise me if once they've got this down, we'll just see big floods like that where we're getting 50, 60, 70 games at a time all being switched on.
We've already got the games that everybody wants, and currently the top three are Red Dead Redemption 2, Batman Arkham Knight, and Sunset Overdrive. Those are the three. I keep seeing people like, oh, you got to do it for this one. Got to do it for this one.
Yeah.
I
I think the Arkham for sure, because that game was absolutely balked on release, and Red Dead would be cool because it looks amazing on the Xbox. So to look like that and play at 60 would be lovely.
Now, something a lot of people don't realize, and you and I aren't going to notice this, John, because our TV makes everything look so good. But in order to do the FPS boost, it has to drop the game down to the Xbox One S version. So you will not get FPS boost on an X enhanced version of the game.
Oh yes, that's why you've got the toggle where you can turn it, because you can't you toggle it on and off
Yep.
for the ones that you can do it, but it has to obviously you get an inferior version. Yeah.
You know, that sucks, but like even playing Titanfall 2, I was like, I don't really notice it because it's on my OLED, it's running auto HDR, and it's 120 frames a second, so it still looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I thought it again. Titanfall 2 was the only one I played. I know that they're like a lot of Ubisoft titles, like some of the Assassin's Creed games got it, and some of the Far Cry games got it. But the only one I tried was Titanfall, and yeah, it was very nice.
I put a hurting on my hard drive. I downloaded a ton of shit.
But that's all I played.
All right, now we'll roll to you, Anthony, and I have no idea what you're going to seg to. But
Yeah, so I guess I can say that I finished up installing everything I own disc-wise to get the updates on my PS3. Good God. I found out that I'm missing my copy of Soul Calibur 5.
oh yeah,
So I had
that
to-
game exists.
Yeah, I opened up my collector's edition. I don't have like all the DLC for it too, and I was like, I opened up the case and the disc isn't there, and I went, I have zero idea where this could be. So I popped onto eBay and was like, disc only, and picked one up for $10 to replace it. But good God, that was upsetting. Played more Pokemon Snap, and since that's not going to generate a conversation, I played some Resident Evil Village.
Oh yeah, that's a video game too.
Yeah, which is why I figured I would end with that to get you talking about it.
Oh, you just want me? You want to jump right
how's
into the big one, huh?
Yeah, how's the big tall vampire lady?
I have not met her yet.
Ooh.
I don't want to spoil too much about that game, but I will just say, if you're thirsty for the vampire lady, she's a very small part of that game.
I have only made it to the. I mean, it's in like I've played maybe an hour and a half. So I got to a point where an ambush happens.
Yes, that
And
sucks.
I'm like, it's like survive the attack, and I went, oh fuck yourself. Died and went, yeah, we're done with this right now. I can't tolerate that shit. It's
fucking beautiful.
It's weird.
I'll tell you that.
So I'm playing on a base PS4.
I'm sure it's still gorgeous.
I don't know how the fuck they're pulling it off.
Well, so I
mean,
watched.
to be fair, a lot of it's in the dark sometimes, you know. So it's like, you know, I can understand where they're hiding it, but like spoiler, I guess, he picks up this baby at the beginning, and like I saw the detail on his hands, main character Ethan, and I went, holy fucking shit.
So
that's a lot of detail on the goddamn hand. Like I didn't think that was possible on a base PS4.
it's kind of like the old tricks they use for the original Resident Evil. So like nothing in that world is really interactive. It's just window dressing. It's almost like a pre-rendered background. That's yeah.
I'm not talking about the yeah, that makes sense for all the background stuff. I mean more of just the like the character model, like when he holds his hands up to defend and stuff. I'm like, that's so much detail alone right there. Like, and of course it's movable, right? So, I like the fact that you can examine things. I know that sounds very minimal, but like, I feel like that's a part of that was missing from Resident Evil for a long time. I'll be honest, I played 7 for maybe 20 minutes in VR and went, yeah, this shit's too fucking scary. Took the headset off and turned the console off. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's not going to play in VR.
Nope. No, that's a game I regretted starting up in VR and just was like, I don't want to play it without VR, but I also definitely don't want to play it in VR. It's one of those, like, I'm stuck. I either play it in VR and shit myself, or I play it outside of VR and don't feel like I'm getting the full experience. This game is scary too.
Oh, you ain't seen shit yet.
Yeah, trust me, I know. I was doing fine. Once the gameplay actually kind of started in the world, from the crashed site, the thing runs by you, and I went, no, I don't want none of that. Like, I'll be honest, I don't like when horror games do that, where I'm like defenseless. I'd rather you give me a gun and I be really bad. I like it's the difference between Amnesia and something like this. Like PT was a bit different because it was a trailer for a game. It was a teaser.
There's a very PT-esque section of this game.
I'm sure there is. I mean, I feel like Resident Evil 7 was clearly that looked like a good idea. Let's do something like that. Based off of PT, but like, good lord, I like the combat. I hate shooting guns. That's my takeaway so far. The very little that I've played is that the pistol that you have, the enemies can dodge the fucking fire, and I'm like, fuck this. I mean, the first fight you get in with the goddamn pistol, it auto. I would have rather have done it with a knife, but they pull the pistol out instead. I wasted so much ammo.
You will be using a lot of guns in this game.
If the guns aren't the pistol, I'm sure they'll be better.
My only
I met the guy with a shotgun, and he doesn't make it, and I don't get the shotgun.
That's because you got taken up in the ceiling with the shotgun. It's gone. But don't worry, you get it really early. You get a shotgun really early.
Yeah, well, not for the fucking ambush.
No, you don't have it for the ambush, but all you have to do is survive, by the way.
Well, that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, you don't have to kill them all, you just have to survive.
I guess, like, spoilers for the first 40 minutes or whatever. If you don't take your time, it'll probably be even less. I'm like, it's like, oh, okay, like, meet us in the field or whatever, and I'm like, okay, and I start walking out, and I'm like, oh, the gate's down. And then I see on top of the house the guys, and I'm like, all right, and then I veer to the right, and I'm walking up the path, and there's another guy, and I'm like, I'm just gonna try to sneak by him, and then another guy comes down the path towards me, and I turned around and went, absolutely not! This is clearly the wrong way. So I'm like, I walk all the way back to the house. I'm like, maybe something fell. Nope, I'm still blocked. I turn outside. I'm about to go back over the bridge, and one of the guys has followed me, and I went, God damn it!
Yeah, there's no sneaking around. It's kill or be killed.
Oh yeah. So that was my introduction to Resident Evil Village. I was like, I'm very excited, and then fucking got murdered, and went, that pissed me off so much, I'm just going to take a pause for this for now, and then I'll talk about my experience on the podcast.
Yeah, that game, I finished that game last night. Credits rolled. Stick around after the credits, FYI. There's another scene. That game is very different from what Capcom showed you. There's a lot more to that game that you don't know yet.
I have seen the, I believe the Merchant.
Yes. And
That doesn't look like anything I've ever seen in a Resident Evil game before.
he is a very large individual.
Yeah, he is.
His name
He
is the
is-
Duke.
Yeah, wow. He looks like something out of Dune or Rage or, something that doesn't seem. He just doesn't seem right. I
So
was like, oh, okay. Because I remember how it was. It popped up on YouTube. Somebody was like, here's what happens when you throw a grenade. And I'm like, I don't know what that I'm looking at there. And it's like, oh, never mind. Because it auto plays on your phone, like when you're scrolling through. If you look at it too long, you're like, oh, shit. But
yeah, that game is it was marketed as the tall vampire lady game, and I was very shocked when I finished that section that it was done. You know, I was like, oh, there's a whole nother game. There's a whole lot of more game here. Excuse me.
yeah,
I had to clear my throat.
it's interesting what they're doing with the character of Chris Redfield.
Oh, you have no idea yet.
Nope. But it's like one of those things where there's a lot of Resident Evil lore I'm not familiar with, and I have no idea if it actually makes any fucking sense or not. I feel like it's going the way of Metal Gear Solid, where it's like, I'm sure it makes sense on some level, but there's a lot.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. For those that were, worried about how this Ethan Winters section of Resident Evil ties in to the other Resident Evils, don't worry, they get there in this game. I try to dance around it. There's just so much that I don't want to say because it's so cool when you experience it yourself. But this game is the village. The village is kind of the hub. You will go back to it, and there's reasons for going back to it. I thought it was a great game. It's not overly long, like a lot of people have said. It is. I think I finished in about 10, maybe 11 hours.
Are any
Wow.
of the Resident Evil games very long?
7 was probably one of the longest ones.
Okay.
I remember
Well, that's-
7 being a little longer than most Resident Evils.
Yeah, because you leave the house eventually, and there's more house, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could understand that. I was gonna say though, I'm like, I don't think any of them have been. I know 4 is a bit longer, or was at the time.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But
Most of the old ones that people have fond memories for are, 6 to 8 hours. So,
I think 2 is long just because you there's 2 campaigns, but
they're pretty much the same, just different routes.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, this game it's very good. It's very, very good. I really enjoyed my time with it. I enjoyed all the ties back in. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the combat. I enjoyed the characters. So there's some of my favorite characters in the Resident Evil franchise. I think the game's really good, and I feel like I can't. Excuse me. I can't talk more about specifics without giving away some spoilers because it's just impossible. But I absolutely love the game. There is a lot more to it than you think there is. People have talked about how there's like hunting. It's not really hunting. It's more like find some animals and kill them for their shit, and then use their shit to get permanent upgrades. That's pretty much the extent of it.
I will say this: the moment with the horse is when I knew shit was going south.
Oh, the like laying on the ground.
You didn't realize what happens to it?
No, I'm just saying that's not.
Yeah, I went, oh shit, that's a dead horse.
Yeah.
And then I walk outside the house, and I'm like, did I just see that horse fucking get dragged? Oh shit. And then I'm like, I don't know which way to go. And that's the thing, like, man, I don't know if you actually get like there seemed to be two directions I could have went early on.
Well, the village is very large.
Whole fucking so I got to the first like T in the path, and like one of them went a completely different like the opposite direction of where I went, and I'm like, I think I've made the right decision.
Well,
But
did
hell
you
if I know.
consult the map?
There's a map.
Yeah, hold the well, I don't know what it is on the PlayStation, but on the Xbox, it's the back button. Resident Evil always has a map, Anthony.
I don't think I have a map yet.
No, you have a map. It's just not filled in until you walk to. So using the map is very key in Resident Evil, because especially now with these new games, because they'll mark the buildings blue if you've found everything in the building, and they'll be red if there's still something for you to find.
Okay, well that's good to know, because that is the only complaint I have with this game so far is like, if it weren't for the fact that I played around with the controls to figure out how to duck, it never gave me the here's how to duck.
Yeah, when you go into the first tree, you click the right stick.
But I did that though. It never popped up on screen.
Well, you must have
was
done
I
it too
supposed
fast.
to rub?
Because it
Was I
popped
supposed to
on
rub
my
up
screen.
against the tree? But then it would do other things. And like the only time I remember is like, here's how to guard. And then it was like off the screen, and I was like, I guess I'm guarding now.
Oh, by the way, if you time your guard perfectly, you can push the enemy away.
Interesting.
And it staggers
Again,
them,
a
giving
thing
you the opportunity to shoot them. Did you also know you do have a quick turnaround? Did you know that? Just press down and circle on the PlayStation, and you'll immediately do a 180.
Yeah,
that's been in Resident Evil since the dawn of time. So
it would have been nice just to have that shit. Like it seemed like it was choosing certain things as to keep me in the dark instead of just here it is. Here's your controls.
Press a button, Anthony.
Well, it's like so they have you go, but
no,
they have you go down into that basement, right? You open up that cabinet, and then you have to go back upstairs. And that would have been a perfect time to teach me just to do the quick turnaround, right?
Sure.
So it's just one of those things where it's like it was like it taught me to stand up from a crouch, but didn't teach me how to crouch. And again, maybe it's because I did it too early, but it's just like I still wish that had popped up on the screen to know that I hadn't somehow deactivated it or whatever. Like, what if I pressed the button and didn't really realize what was happening? Yeah, that's my only complaint so far.
I will tell you that I brought up
fuck the guys beating me up and killing me.
I did open my inventory a bunch of times trying to switch weapons because I'd been playing other FPS games recently. But your weapons are on your D-pad.
D-pad. So. Yeah, that again, a thing I found out by accident.
Well, that was in 7, so I guess they assumed you played 7. Also, quick tip, don't upgrade the shit out of your starting weapons because you will get new versions and more powerful versions of those weapons later in the game. Also, the Resident Evil 4 Tetris inventory system is back, so you got to make sure that you're putting stuff in the proper places.
I prefer that over like the RE2 remake.
Also, save your lay early on and buy the inventory upgrades from Duke. Because if you don't, you're going to be throwing a lot of shit away.
Oh, right. Lay, yeah. So lay is the currency.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will be plenty. There will be plenty of lay. Don't worry about that.
The only reason why I have to describe that is because otherwise a Hawaiian lay might be a.
Well, maybe those are in the game. You don't know.
Well, not what you're referring to, though.
No.
That could be a totally different thing. Also, it'd be really fucking weird if it was.
I mean, it's Resident Evil, you know. I do like that in this one, the key items, they don't take up your inventory. So, like, when you get, like, a puzzle item, like a key, or, a crank, because, there's a crank in every Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, yeah.
That they don't go into your inventory, so they don't take up space. They just go into a separate area.
Until you mentioned it right now, I didn't even realize that. That's how smooth that is.
Yep.
Because you get the bolt cutters, and you're right. It went into like a key items.
Which is hilarious because the bolt cutters you literally use once.
Yep.
You never use them again. You use them one time.
Interesting.
Yeah, you never use those again. If you
Oh,
look, if
wait,
you look
you
now,
mean they
they're
stay-
gone. In your inventory,
Oh,
they're
okay.
gone.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say that's usually how it works.
But like, I have a ton of stuff. When I finished the game, I had a ton of stuff in my inventory that I had not gotten rid of, and I probably should have. I sold some of my early guns because I didn't need them anymore, and you can't just... There's no storage box, so you can't like store crap. It's all about just your inventory and managing it, and if you don't use a gun or if you get a new version of a gun, you just need to sell that shit to the Duke. Because otherwise, your inventory is going to be way too full. You can craft bullets, you can craft health potions. You got to pick up like chem fluid and herbs to mix together in the crafting menu in order to get yourself a bottle of health that you just, pour on your hands and you're good.
Yeah.
Which is always funny. But no, that game is very good. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I like how the story wraps up. I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 9, whatever play on words they make with that. So what's the Roman numerals? IX? So what's...
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know,
man. But no.
Yeah, I am excited to play more. So.
It's a wonderful game, and it's not super long. The characters in that game are some of the best, and I like how it ties into Resident Evil. Like the overarching story. Just be careful of them spoilers, because they're out there. So, all right. Can't talk about that game. I did play R-Type Final 2.
It's an R-Type game, isn't it?
It's very much an R-Type game.
Yep.
But holy cow, the production values are incredible.
I'm not surprised. I mean, like, if you look at the last Darius game that came out, like, they do a really good job with all those sort of old space shooters, but
I mean, this one's like you can customize your pilot, your ship, your emblem. There's a photo mode. You can take a picture of your character posing in front of the ship, which is weird because your pilot's so tiny when you're playing the game. Like, the fact that they let you customize that is kind of crazy. It is R-Type hard. So, one hit, you're kind of dead, situation. I really am getting, just throttled in this game. I think there's a demo of this game, and John, you should go download the demo. I know you don't really care for these kind of games.
Oh, I love R-Type.
Okay, well, you need to go download this demo because this might be one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on that OLED. Like, the neon lasers that are going on in the first level are banana sandwiches.
I'll go have a look.
So you should go check this game out. It is absolutely stunning. It's a little steep on the price. Like, that part, I feel like a lot of these shmup games kind of rely on their kind of legacy and people knowing that, hey, I want the new R-Type, or I want the new Darius, or I want the new Gradius, or whatever comes out, because they're always super expensive.
You know what? I'm looking at this. There isn't the demo on the Xbox version. I can't see it.
I thought there was a demo. Somebody tweeted at me and told me they downloaded a demo of it.
But also, fuck me, that's expensive. It's like, if you want with the stage, it's got a stage pass, for fuck's sake. 55 quid.
Yeah, it's a pricey game, and that's my biggest knock against it. Is like, you kind of know who your audience is, and they love these kind of games, and you know they're going to go for it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Raiden 4 or whatever the last one was.
Raiden 5. Yeah, I remember that being $50, and I was like, holy shit.
I own Darius Burst Chronicles.
Oh yeah, there was two of
DLC.
those. There was two of those, right?
No, I think it's just the one. But it's like, well, there was a Vita version and there was a console PS4.
And the PS4 version was like $44.99 or something.
And I think the Vita version was actually more money.
It's ridiculous, man,
and
how much they
I own
charge.
I own it and all the DLC.
But that's the thing, is they know people like us are going to buy it because we love those games.
Yeah.
So
well,
they can price it
bought the
however they
DLC.
want.
I bought it on sale, thank God. But even then, it was still $40 with all the DLC. Instead of $40 without it. And I picked it up because it had a bunch of like Sega tie-ins and stuff.
Yeah,
But,
it's
all
ridiculous.
those games are a fuck ton of money.
I'll complain about the price of R-Type Final 2 till I die, but you know what? If they didn't send me a review code, I'd have bought it. And they know that. They know that. I don't know why my throat's so messed up today.
You are really going.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I really don't. All right, so the other game I played, and I've only played this a little bit, is Hood, Outlaws and Legends.
Oh, is that like a co-op type game?
Time for me to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This game is... So here's the problem, is that it's really good. Like, the controls are excellent. I love the classes. I love the concept of two teams trying to steal the same treasure, and while there's also, like an NPC piece to it, and it just sucks that it's 3v3, and it doesn't suck because if you've got people to play it with, it's incredible. Like, you should totally play this game. It's beautiful. It's enhanced for Series X and PS5. Like, the visuals are amazing. The controls feel like a refined Splinter Cell. So, like, they're real tight, real good. The combat is a little wonky at times, but it works. I love the powers that you can get. There's like an upgrade system. There's like a costume system. You can unlock new looks for your characters. Like, there's a lot there, and it's really good, but you really got to have people to play with, because playing with randos, it does have like a ping system, like Apex Legends does, where you can kind of point at something and say, hey, we need to target this guy, or hey, there's a treasure over here. But you really got to have people that you can communicate with to play this game. So I'm kind of wondering, like, they're kind of being a little... Like, there's already like a Season 1 pass. Like, they expect this to go for a long time. And I just wonder how well it's going to do. $40, just kind of throwing it out there. I really want to know where this game's going to be in a month. So I think I'm going to check back in a month, see if I can get in a game. But it's really good. So if you've got people to play with, I would definitely recommend picking it up, because it is a very quality game.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no, it's like I played through the tutorial mission, and then I played a few matches online, and I was just like, wow, number one, I wish I had time to invest in this. And number two, I wish I had people to play it with. But like any multiplayer game, co-op game, whatever you're talking about, you've got to convince your buddies, like, hey, go drop $40 and 4 to 5 hours of every week for us to play this, and that's a lot. That's a lot of commitment the older we get, Those are the big games I've played that I can talk about. I can tell you that I am playing Subnautica Below Zero and Biomutant, but I cannot talk about those two games.
I thought Subnautica has been out for a while, or is this like a DLC?
This is a new campaign. It's like in the Arctic as opposed to like regular Subnautica.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explains why there's an embargo.
That game is out this week, so I'll be able to talk about it next week. So let's talk about, before I jump into the indies, the FPS boost. I played a lot, John. I played a lot. I think I downloaded 20 games out of the 74.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Ouch.
highlights, games that I think you should really check out. Shadow Warrior 2. Wow. Night and day difference on that game. The Metro Redux games, running at 120 frames a second.
Oh, wow. Are they really? Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were part of the...
Yep. Fucking
wow.
chef's kiss. Mwah. Those two games running at 120 frames a second are wonderful. The Evil Within 2, wonderful at 60 FPS. Far Cry New Dawn, and I'm assuming Far Cry 5. I didn't download 5. I downloaded
Yeah,
New
Far
Dawn.
Cry 5 is boosted, yeah.
Yeah, Far Cry at 60 FPS is wonderful. Here's one for you: Mad Max at 120 frames a second.
Wow.
Yeah,
Woo.
yeah, that one felt good. Sleepy Dogs at 60 frames a second.
Oh, any reason to go play that again?
Man, it feels like a new game.
Where the hell is my damn sequel?
It's never coming.
I know.
I did
You
download.
mean from the studio that's closed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did
I
download
know.
2 Assassin's Creed games. I downloaded Assassin's Creed 3 and remembered that the intro to that game fucking sucks. So I didn't play much of that. And then Unity. Unity, Unity.
Oh, yes, because
It originally
that
ran.
had a cap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that-
originally
the-
ran at 60, and then they patched that out, and now it runs at
Yeah, they
60
capped
again.
it. No, that's pretty good.
That game's still very pretty.
Yeah, that was definitely. They were a bit too ambitious, I think, for the next gen at the time.
Yeah, yeah. It only took 7 years, but that game is finally what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Dying Light is amazing at 60 frames a second. Homefront: The Revolution, not so impressed. For shits and giggles, I downloaded Anthem and played that at 60 frames a second.
Probably great. Looks great, but yeah.
It's
No one-
wonderful. It's wonderful.
No one's playing that bugger.
Alien Isolation at 60 frames a second is awesome.
That game's pretty as it is.
Yeah. Hollow Knight at 120 frames a second. Oh my Lanta. That game feels good. I think that's it. I think those are the big ones that I played. But yeah, I was just downloading everything. I got an 8 terabyte external. I was like, I'm just gonna play. I did check out Recore. Recore doesn't look good in HDR. Like, it's super fucking dark.
Surprising.
Yeah, I remember I played through that game without HDR, and I was like, this game looks alright. And then the first time I booted it up on an HDR screen, I'm like, why is this so fucking dark? I don't know. Alright. Let me pound through these indies real quick. Flowing Lights is like a vertical shooter with like a momentum mechanic to where you gotta like speed up to get up like a hill. Okay. The Colonists is really cool. It's a game. It's like a strategy game about little robots. You land on a planet, and then you got to build stuff. So like think like Age of Empires, where you got to build like a lumber mill, and then you got to build like a thing to which makes no sense because they're robots. But like you got to build like a fishing village so you can like get some food. Like I got into that game a little bit. It was pretty fun. Kursk is a first person like Russian game about like the Soviet submarine. The crew on the submarine is based on a true story, but the character's story itself is not like true. It's just based on true events. It's okay. Non-Guns Doppelganger Edition is like a... I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a very small pixelated like left to right shooter, and I don't know if it's like a roguelike or like a run-based thing. Like you're just going through and murdering people or monsters. Sorry, not people. It's got this real specific kind of color scheme to it. It's not bad. Skate City is a side-scrolling skating game where you just press the A button to move, and then you do tricks with the right and left analog stick. It's not bad, but I feel like we've got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. We don't need any other skating game.
Looked up Non-Guns just to see, and yeah, it says it's a roguelite
Okay,
action platformer.
that makes
I
sense.
I like the color scheme.
Yeah, and it plays really good. Like it feels really good when you play it.
For as much as Digerati was promoting this, I feel like I totally forgot this game existed until this very moment.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about it, like after it came out, which was weird. And then the last indie game that I played, it warmed my heart. It warmed my heart so much to know that Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is back. Baldur's fucking Gate Dark Alliance. If you never played that game, I wish Wombat was here so we could talk about it. That game was so good.
I played it.
That game is so good, and it's back.
It was my first introduction to Diablo-like games.
Yeah, and it's still good. It's still good.
I mean,
You should play it.
It would be really hard to fuck that up.
You say that, Anthony, but how many...
Let me rephrase that. It'd be really hard to fuck it up from the original game being remastered.
It ain't remastered. It's just the original game in widescreen 4K. That's it.
No, that's okay. It had to be worked on a bit. So it's a remastering, not a remake.
I still wouldn't there's nothing changed about it other than it is now presented in widescreen.
But it wasn't originally, and that's not an easy thing to do necessarily.
I still don't think there was a ton of work going in. My only beef with this re-release, it's $30 fucking.
Oh, fuck that noise. I'll play my PS2 copy.
Yeah. Like, if you'd have charged $30 and given me 1 and 2...
I'll pay $30 for 2. Because 2 is extremely hard to fucking find. But I feel like I can trip and fall over the first game.
But still, the package should have been 1 and 2 for $30. That is my big gripe about Dark Alliance. But, like R-Type, Anthony, I'd have bought it. If I hadn't got a code, I'd have bought it.
Oh, geez. Okay, so I'm like, I wonder. Let me take a look and see how much Dark Alliance is going for. A PS2 copy goes for $18 for just the disc.
Yeah, that game was...
And it's $30 for the GameCube version.
What about the Xbox
just
version?
The disc. $23. So you're paying basically what the import costs to get it.
I mean, to be fair, that's true. I mean, if you want to, and this one's in widescreen 4K and you ain't got to buy it off eBay.
Yeah.
That was like a Dr. Seuss rhyme. Did you like that?
No.
Man, fuck you.
The second game is $50 for just
Maybe they do that one next and they charge $30 for it too.
Oh, that'd be nice, because I haven't played the sequel because I've never been able to find it.
I played it.
I'm also very surprised that the Game Boy Advance version's $35 for just the cartridge.
That's because y'all motherfuckers are weird and you buy those things. I can't, I can just go play that. I won't have to buy the cartridge.
I assume this is to get people excited for the new Dark Alliance game?
You would think that, but I don't think they had anything to do with each other. Or maybe this company just had the license and just put it out because they knew the new one was coming out.
Maybe. All right.
I don't know. That new one looks rad, though. I can't wait to play it.
I saw the design for the Beholder, and I was like, that's fucking kind of scary. Perfect.
Yeah. I also have a bunch of hardware that I'm playing with that I will be talking about over the next couple weeks. I got the new Rig Pro HX 700 and 500. I'm actually using the 500 right now to record this podcast.
It's a catchy name.
Rig, you never heard of Rig?
No, well, I haven't, but also I was talking about the whole serial number thing.
Oh, sorry. I was just a bunch of people, when I told people on Twitter that I got the headsets and they were the thing about these headsets is that they're so comfortable because they're light as a feather. When you're playing a gaming session and you're in there for 2 or 3 hours, how the headset is kind of heavy and you start getting a headache. These things, I don't even realize they're on. They're so light. And it's incredible. And I've used it on my Xbox, playing some games online. I played a bunch of Resident Evil with the Rig headset. The sound is incredible. I don't know that there's an equalizer yet. I need to plug them into the PC and see if there's some software to do the equalizer. But no, they're super comfortable. After 2 or 3 hours, I didn't have the normal headache that I have from wearing headphones. They just feel great. They also sent me the Pro Nacon wired tournament controller for the Xbox. And I need to play with that a little bit more, but first impressions is that it's a nice controller, and if you have very petite hands, it is very good for you, because it is like 70% the size of the regular Xbox Series controller, which is already kind of small, especially compared to like the DualSense. So like this controller is very tiny. It's very tiny. So I'm gonna be playing with those over the next couple weeks. I also have like a nice microphone that I was going to record this podcast with, but I need to figure out some suppression for it because I was picking up background noise like 2 rooms away. So I don't really want to record a podcast like that. I did order a boom mic and a puff filter. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Puff.
Poof.
Puff. Puff. Don't do that because then you don't have a puff filter on this mic, so it comes across.
Poof.
And then Western Digital is going to send me some of the WD Black hard drives this week.
When are you
Jesus
sending me?
Christ.
When are you sending me one?
I can send you my old ones, Anthony.
I'd take-
Although it probably
I'm-
cost me more in shipping than just to buy you one. I've got, like, ask Wombat about this. If you live near me, like, he called me one day. He's like, I need some headphones. I'm like, come on over. What are you buying? Like, I just opened my closet and there's literally a plastic tub of headsets.
God damn, man.
Like, I have.
Because he keeps getting sent them.
Yeah, they send me headsets all the time, and I'll review them and I'll use them. Like my wife makes fun of me because there are literally 4 headphones hanging from the wall in my office. I've got my podcast headphones, I've got my Xbox headphones, I got my PlayStation headphones, and then I have a second set of Xbox headphones. And they're like mounted on the wall. And then there are probably 20 or 30 headsets in a tub in the closet of my office. I mean, I got a lot of hardware, man. If you live near me and you need a headset, just call me. Call me. I
Might
got
be
you.
worth it just to do the drive when the border opens back up.
Hey, come on down. Anthony, I got probably stacks of like hard drives that you could have.
Come on down, kids. Emporium got headphones and got hard drives.
My wife was
Come
like,
get you
asking,
some.
she was asking me last week, is there 2 monitors in the hallway closet? She's like, do we really need these anymore? I'm like, no, but yes. I got shit everywhere, man. I just got shit laying around. It's fine. Don't judge me. I'm a tech hoarder. She makes fun of me all the time because I buy cables all the time, like USB-C and USB-A cables, like extended ones, because I use them for like headphone charging or for like controllers from my PC, to extend my hard drive cables to my TV and all that. Like, I probably have about 500 pounds of cables in this house.
Cables suck.
Yeah, they do. But I'm constantly buying more of them, John. I think I buy new cables like once a month.
You don't need new cables once a month, Ken.
Don't tell me what I need.
You don't.
I got lots of stuff I don't need. But you never know, that day might come that you need those things. You don't know when, how often do you come out and you're like, I need a micro USB charging cable, and you don't have one?
I've got several, but I don't think I've bought one for years.
Well, that's because you've never needed one that's 9 feet long like I have.
Well, no, I must admit I haven't.
Yeah, see, I needed one that was 9 feet long, so I bought a batch of 6 of them for whenever I needed another one that was 9 feet long. Don't judge me. I got cables everywhere. I could open the drawers next to my PC here, and it looks like spaghetti.
This week on Hoarders,
Yeah.
Ken's crying out in the front yard, and they're like, let me just throw it away. It's like, no, it's important.
What's funny is like I could throw away all the cases to my games, but I have 4,000 cables. That's how that works.
That
I love
that
technology.
bothers me on a deep level.
I understand that bothers you. I do, and sometimes I do it just to.
You know, I'll tell you right now. As much as I disagree with getting rid of the cases, I understand. But the fact that you hoard cables,
the cables aren't taking up half of my wall.
No, they're just taking up bins of space, and so it's technically more.
I have a 2-car garage and only 1 car, Anthony. I'm okay.
Oh God, it's just so wrong. Just cables you won't use because you've replaced them with other cables, and then you replace those cables.
Yeah, don't judge me. Everybody's got a quirk.
Your quirk is stupid, and you should feel bad.
Everybody's quirk is stupid. But nobody should feel bad. Everybody should feel good. It's a good
not
feeling.
everybody, just you.
I don't know why you gotta judge me.
Why would you tell us this story? You knew it was going to happen with at least one.
I think that's why I do it. It's kind of like I tell you about
I bought
the game.
9-foot long USB cables.
My PC is like 6 feet from my chair. Okay? And when I run, I have...
You're trying to wrangle cattle. You tie it in a fucking lasso and you come here.
I have a 25-foot high-grade HDMI cable that I run from my PC to my TV set.
How much slack isn't it?
A couple feet. I gotta hide it along the floorboard.
To be fair, at 25, like, because you can't really get one that's going to be less than that. Like a few feet of slack isn't too bad.
But you also can't drape it like across the middle. You gotta hide it around the edge.
Yeah, no, I understand. That one I don't feel as bad about. But if you had if you're like, I bought a 25-foot cord and there's like 10 feet of slack in it.
What's sad is I've got 2 50-foot Ethernet cables, and one of them has a couple feet of slack, and one of them has 0. And in fact, it's like hanging halfway up the wall next to my PC because it wasn't quite long enough to run across the floorboard. So I had to. It's kind of dangling.
Either your house is a fire hazard, or it just gives off electromagnetic fields.
You walk in my house and you immediately lose cell service. You have no idea.
I think I just got cancer.
I think I have about 40 power strips running around here. All of them have like 6 USB plugs on them. You know.
I can't make fun of you for the power strips because I'm pretty sure one plugged into another. You know, the thing you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, don't do that. I won't do that. I won't do that.
There's limits.
Yeah, I do have my limits. I will not plug a power strip into like a power converter thing. No, thank you. I will not do that. All right, let's talk about what's coming out this week that I can buy cables for. Subnautica Below Zero, I think, is the only PS5 and Series X release this week. No, I am correct. Incorrect, sorry. There is a PS5 game coming out. It's Bibby and Tina at the Horse Farm.
Well, fuck me. Sign me up. Where's the review code for that?
John, don't mess with me. I will ask for one.
No, do not ask for one.
I will totally make you fucking do that.
No.
We've got PS4 and Xbox One. We've got Death Crown, Neverwinter Sharendar Episode 2. And Subnautica Below Zero is also coming to it, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Oh,
I heard they're doing like a thing online where you can basically import your Shepherd or whatever, or make your own Shepherd to
it was
put
a
on
box
the cover.
art thing, right?
Yeah, I'm like, that's pretty neat.
They're giving away the soundtrack as well, I think, online.
I personally just play with the default Shepherd because I feel like every other one looks like ass.
You go male or female ship?
Male.
I might do
even though FemShep is supposed to be way better voice acting.
It's Jennifer
I might
Hale.
do
Yeah.
I might do Femshep this time round.
I did
I did-
Femshep the first
I did-
time, and I will do Femshep this time.
No, I did Manshep last time, but I will do.
I just
Femshep
like
next.
the unintentional comedy of male Shepard's voice. Because he always sounds like this. He doesn't seem to show any emotion. So he can make the choices very easily.
I think it's time for another Mass Effect we'll play through.
I just installed the trilogy on my PS3, and I'm too cheap to buy a remaster.
Nah, fuck that. I'm buying the remaster.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
you're also a fan of the series. I just happen to have the trilogy because it was cheap.
I love that series. God, I remember when that game came out. God, I can't wait to play Mass Effect 1 that doesn't play like shit.
Yeah, although apparently they've kept an option in for the original Mako
No.
controls. Like any bastard would want to do that.
No, you don't do that. No.
Yeah, they did.
It's an
Never.
option, Ken. Just don't choose it.
Yeah,
I will
it just
not
is
choose
an
it.
option.
I will not. They'll give you an option for shitty Mako controls, but they won't put an easy mode in Dark Souls. Fuck you, game industry.
Mm-mm.
I mean, these are two different companies.
Shut up.
Go off, Ken.
Shut up. We've also got Exodemon and Karma Incarnation 1. Whatever the fuck that is.
I'm gonna guess that last one is an anime game.
I mean,
Karma, what is it?
Karma Incarnation 1. Oh, I've still got the Switch games to go through.
I understand that.
Y'all ready
Oh
for
wow!
this?
Whoa, hold on. I have to just admit that I'm totally fucking wrong.
Okay.
Wow, it looks like oh man, it looks like an Amanita sort of game
I don't know what that
in
is.
the art style. Samarost, Chuchel.
You're making up words at this point. I feel like I'm playing a game.
They're big in the point and click stuff, and that's kind of what this is. But it's all
okay.
done with a cartoon style. All the characters are in silhouette, almost like they have way more detail than a silhouette would have, but they're all just like black creatures. So,
Oh, by the way,
psychedelic adventure is what they're calling this. So,
speaking
yes,
of
by the
made up names, do you know what Lady Dimitrescu's first name is?
way,
Lady?
I don't know, man.
You want to take a guess? You won't get it, but
Yeah, exactly why I'm not gonna guess.
her first name is Alcina.
Oh, that's nice. That's cute.
Alcina Dimitrescu. And by the way, they say her name in the game. So that is the correct pronunciation. I'm sure I'm not doing it with the proper accent. The Dimitrescu or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think it's Demetrius, but it's because like the Japanese pronunciation is different, so they were spelling it that way.
But it's French.
But it's French, yes. But it's like if you look at the way it's spelled, it's Demetriscu.
Yeah, Dimitrescu.
Yeah.
Dimitrescu. Oh, sorry. You know what's coming to the Switch? You know what's coming to the Switch? We got games coming to the Switch, yo. Let's play some Switch games. We got Olympic basketball. We've got Fire, Ung's Quest, Retro Machina, Rift Raccoon, Connection Rehaunted, Death Crown, Kasi Ori, Monster Harvest, Rise Eterna. I feel disappointed by these names so far. They're not great. RWBY Grim Apocalypse Definitive Edition, Solitaire Card Games, Space Commander War and Trade, Super Shape Shooter, Taxi Driver The Simulation, Number 1 Anagrams, Hashtag Wish Travel Super Puzzle Dreams. I bet that's some fucking anime shit.
That sounds fantastic.
Bounce Mania. Man, I'm disappointed. There's not one good one on here. Rabisco Plus,
Please go back to the hashtag wish
Travel Super Puzzle Dreams.
travel super puzzle dreams. I really hope that we're right at one of these. Otherwise, it's just embarrassing that we're.
This was a
It's
disappointment.
not anime. God damn it! It's literally just a puzzle, like putting jigsaw puzzles together.
What the fuck happened? Finally,
We've lost our touch, Ken.
we got 2 left. Famicom Detective Club, The Girl Who Stands Behind, and Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir.
I forgot those were coming out.
Yep, they're out on Friday.
I will probably buy those.
They are Phoenix Wright style, aren't they?
So Phoenix Wright does something that other point and click or like visual novels or whatever you want to call it don't do, which is like cut down on the extra nonsense. These will have like a talk to button or a look at button, similar to the old point and click adventures on the PC. But of course, you're not pointing and clicking, you're just selecting at a menu. So like if you say look at, it'll give you kind of a selection of things that are in the room to look at. Jake Hunter was kind of the big one that I'd say that like didn't do that. Like on the DS, Jake Hunter came out, and that was how it played too, even though there's a touchscreen, so you should just be able to actually point and click at the thing that you're looking at. Like, so yeah, it's similar, but like I think Ace Attorney plays a lot smoother and it's far easier to get into.
All right, you ready to do some news? News. I'm gonna start the
No.
news off this week
No.
with an
No
Anthony
news.
story.
Okay, go for it.
Guess who finally got a limited run games partnership?
Xbox?
Yep.
Yeah, they announced that a while back though, I'm pretty sure, by having an Xbox game put on their site.
Well, they're in partnership with Xbox now, so they will be able to release Xbox games through the limited run brand. Thought you'd be more excited about that, but whatever.
It feels like this is their way of just being like, yeah, here's some games finally, because like they haven't really put anything out physically in over a year. Microsoft, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then like, is Microsoft gonna now have limited run do all their games?
No.
You know?
No.
I fucking don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah.
You say that, but like Sony had limited run do and Baxter games on PS4.
Yeah, because they didn't give a shit. They didn't have limited
well,
run do Horizon Zero Dawn.
You're right, but I'm just saying, like Microsoft.
Microsoft might have them do like a Battletoads, but they're not going to have them do Halo.
No, yeah, I understand that. But,
yeah, I could see limited run doing a Battletoads run, or.
But it's just shitty that like. It's just shitty to just not do Battletoads as a normal game, you know? That's all.
They could do like a Banjo collection.
And I'm not even hating on limited run in this scenario. It's literally just that the Microsoft has not been doing physical games. I mean, they're clearly trying to go more digital, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Microsoft hasn't released a game in like
that too
3 years.
that too.
People say I never joke on Microsoft. Come on.
It is embarrassing at this point.
It is extremely embarrassing. Well, you had Gears Tactics, but let's be fair. Nobody,
that's a niche game.
Yeah, nobody.
And like I don't know if it's on the news but did you see that they're like an X343?
Yeah,
developer?
That was cleared up, by the way. He said my stuff was taken out of context.
Yeah, but it's like, oh yeah, but to me it's like, well, crunch is happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? And I'm like thinking like I know that's bad, but of course it is. Yeah. This game has now
been in development for like 7 years.
Yeah, it's missed like 2 announcements or whatever.
Yeah.
Release dates, yeah.
Halo Infinite is just like, man, if that game doesn't come out and it's like received like God of War was, it's a failure in so many people's eyes.
All I can think of is how many years does it take to have this go from have the joke be infinite dev time?
I'm pretty sure that's already out there.
I don't know. It shouldn't be. I'm not there yet.
That game. See, here's the thing: is like that game will probably be good, but if it's not outstanding, Nothing matters.
Buy 343.
Yeah,
Buy
343
Halo.
343 is going to start working on Call of Duty, even though they're not at Activision.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that last week, I don't think.
Good.
Who is
Rest
that?
in
That's
peace.
I thought we
Toys
did.
for Bob.
I thought we talked about that. I swore we
Did
talked
we?
about that
I was out of it last weekend, so
because I've actually been to the Toys for Bob office.
it's depressing, man. Like they're still saying like,
Yeah.
well, Toys for Bob still exists, but it's like
Yeah, not anymore. Not in that
not
same
really.
way.
No, and then they're like, and Crash is a viable, or it's like one of our only things, but it's like, yeah, but Crash is making money on mobile, so it's like that doesn't count. It's not
Yeah.
the same.
No, it's not. And the
And-
dudes from Toys for Bob, like every single person I met, it was a while back, but like those guys really love it. They made the Tony Hawk Disney skating game. What was that game called?
Disney Skate Adventures.
Yeah, something like that. And that game was so good. Man, those guys make great games. Like, I love Skylanders at its peak. That game was incredible.
Okay, so I was close. It's Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure.
Okay, well, you got to put extreme in there.
Of course.
I mean, come on.
But like, man, they did such a good job with the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and then they did Crash 4, and now they're stuck doing fucking Warzone.
Yeah, and that's what they'll be doing now. You watch a load of that talent leave.
Well, some of them already have.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
blame
there you
them. I 100% don't blame them.
Yeah.
You remember High Moon Studios made those awesome Transformers games, and then what did they get to do? Work on Call of Duty.
Yep. That's all that Activision care about now.
I mean, they've admitted it.
Yeah.
It's not like they're hiding it, so it's not like we can be mad at them. They're straight up just admitting it.
Yeah.
Anyway, the fanboy war this week was out in full force because Mass Effect Legendary Edition put out its, what this game runs at chart. And it runs at 4K 120 on the Xbox Series X. But it does not run at 120 on the PS5. So, we knew this was going to happen because of the way Microsoft engineered backwards compatibility as opposed to the way Sony engineered backwards compatibility. In order for games to take full advantage of the PS5, it has to be a native PS5 game. And that's why Xbox can have more, 120 frame per second stuff. That's why Wreckfest just got a patch as opposed to a whole new version of the game. So, there you go.
Yeah, but Sony is still winning, so it's fine.
You sound like the internet, John. You're just the commenter that clicks in and they're like, PS5 better.
Yep.
Like, you know what? If you had an argument, I might take you more seriously, but when you just say PS5 better, I'm just like, man, mute. I can't listen to you people talk about this stuff.
It's why I'm slowly sort of getting out of social media because it is.
It's all that shit. Like I saw
Yeah.
so many fights this week over the Resident Evil Digital Foundry where it's like, well, the Xbox runs at a higher frame rate, but the PS5 loads faster. I'm like, dude, the difference is like 2 frames a second and 3 seconds. How is this a win?
Yeah, but it's a difference. It's a difference.
Who cares?
No, I know.
Oh my god.
But there are people who literally, their life is this. Their life is like.
They're out there
so
hollering
meaningless.
W for Xbox. I'm like, you're fucking. What are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, how sad is your life when you are worried about 2 frames a second?
Mm.
I don't get it.
Well,
man.
do they both run at 60 then, I take it?
Yeah, they both
Or
run at
close
60.
to. So how sad is your life that that's even a thing?
You should just be fucking
alone
thrilled
that
that the
you-
game is optimized so good that it runs at 60 with ray tracing on both machines.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like, no, because one number is slightly better than another one.
Yeah, this one
That's not
runs
how
at
that
60,
works.
this one runs at 58. Oh my god.
Doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't. But again, this is how we are now.
I guess. whatever. The Division, a new free-to-play game was announced called Division Heartland. I saw this announcement and I was kind of like, man, I should really play more of the Division 2. And then
A Ubisoft production.
I didn't play any more Division 2. Which sucks because I like that game. It's overwhelming when I jump into it. I'm like, holy shit. Like I get like 30 messages like, hey, you got this and that and this and that and go do this and go do that. I'm like, I can't do. I just wanted to shoot a guy in the face.
I had that wrong. It's a Ubisoft original.
What's that mean?
That's what they're going to. That's what they're gonna put on their games from now on. So it's like Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland, a Ubisoft original, and that's what
This
they're
sounds like
gonna
a
fucking
Lifetime
put on.
special.
Exactly,
Yeah.
they're gonna put that on games now. I'm like, oh, get fucked.
I wonder if this was the. I don't know if you saw the game that was added to the Xbox store, the Ubisoft game that was then taken away. I wonder if that was this.
Maybe.
Anyway, Judgment is getting a sequel. It's called Lost Judgment, and it will be released in September for PS4, Xbox One, and PS5 Series X. I'll play more Judgment.
I think that's an interesting thing that they're doing is because they've announced that the next Yakuza game is going to be turn-based still.
I'm okay with that. Like a Dragon was awesome.
Judgment will be the action series.
I'm okay
That's
with
quite
all
cool.
of this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rio Go Gotaku Studios is rad.
Like a Dragon Studios, so you never have to say that again.
Is it really called Like a Dragon Studios?
Yeah.
I thought it was Rio Go Gotaku. Or is that what that translates to? I don't know.
Yeah. But that's what it translates to.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Like a Dragon.
Gotcha. So it took them 7 games to name a game after.
Well,
the
in Japan, it's all just called Like a Dragon.
Oh, now I'm really confused.
Yeah,
Well,
it's not
because
called
that's what
Yakuza.
So is the next Yakuza game going to be Ichiban?
I have no idea.
Damn.
They just announced that, like, going forward, that it's going to play more like that.
Ichiban is a fantastic character, and I hope we get more of him because we got 6 fucking Dragon Dojima and
6.
well 7. Yeah, 0. I forget. I always forget 0.
7.
Yeah, there's 7.
Yeah.
But Kiryu is the best. Majima and Kiryu, it's fantastic.
But yeah, so it's interesting that they're putting out one this quick. And what's fascinating to me is, like, I knew that there was like I don't want to say an A and B team, but like clearly there's the team that was working on the mainline Yakuza game. And then the other team worked on like the Fist of the North Star game.
Oh yeah.
Right? But like, so does that mean now that there's like a Judgment team? Because like they've put this out super quick.
I mean, these guys put out games.
And I realize most of their work is done when they're reusing the same area of town, right? They just have to fucking rework parts of it. But
They've got their own engine. They got the Dragon engine. So
just impressive.
Which, by the way, Yakuza 6 was in that FPS boost. I didn't have a chance to try it though. Yakuza 6 at 60 frames a second. I've not played Yakuza 6 yet.
I played quite a bit of that, actually. It's good.
It makes me want to play that, but I haven't played 2, 3, 4, and 5 either. There's a lot of Yakuza I need to play, which I might find time now, because I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I'm quitting for a little while.
Sure you are.
Dude, you have no idea how mad I was coming out the other night.
Oh, then what happened?
It's been a month and a half, and that game is just broken at this point. Like, it's not fun anymore. Like, you get into a... So, John, you get into a game, and you are going to know within the first 2 minutes what game it's going to be. You're either going to win so bad that it's not fun, or you're going to lose so bad that everybody on your team leaves, and it's no fun. There are no more good games. I have had maybe 2 good games out of the last 300 that I've played.
So what's the problem?
The teams, like the matchmaking is just broken.
You'd
What-
think they'd get that right, considering they've been going at it for years.
Well, here's the thing, and I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. I think they just kind of left that game alone because they thought the sequel was going to be out. And the sequel's now been delayed so far that we're at least another year to a year and a half from it.
Mm-hmm.
And the new director has come out and said, hey, we're going to go do some updates to the first game. And it's probably because Activision's like, look, we're losing players left and right. Our player retention has dropped significantly. Y'all need to go back and work on this game because the other one, our other money maker, is not going to be out for another year and a half. So I'll go back and revisit it in like a month or two and see if anything's been, is better. But as of right now, I'm just done.
Wow.
I don't want to play anymore. Like I'll spend I don't get a ton of time to play, and when I invest an hour and a half, 2 hours to play, some games, I don't want to just be miserable playing them.
No, absolutely.
So I got Nier to go finish. I've got Mass Effect Legendary playthrough coming up. I'm playing Biomutant. I've got 6 Yakuza games I haven't played through. So I'm just done for a while. So everybody listen to the show, you can be happy. I ain't gonna be talking
Were
about
you
that game.
supposed to mention that you have that one game?
Biomutant? Yeah, I talked about it
Yeah.
earlier. The guy mentioned to me on Twitter that he sent me a code.
Okay.
So I think it's okay if I let people know that I'm playing it. Oh.
As I say, you when you were going through your games, you said I can't talk about that. I can't talk.
Yeah, I
Why
just
is
meant that
that
I couldn't
one-
talk about like the actual game.
Okay.
Yeah, no. News. Sony re-registered the trademark for Sunset Overdrive. So I wonder if they're going to
Huh?
port that game to the PS5, or maybe they're making another one. I don't know. If they bring
I
that game to
thought,
PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, y'all motherfuckers better play it
sh-
because it's so good.
shit! I forgot. It's not Xbox's IP, is it?
No. Well, Xbox
Was
gave.
Insomniacs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xbox was like, you guys can own the IP. We just want the game. So.
Yeah. How weird would that be that the first game was exclusive to one console and the second will be exclusive to another?
I think
Strange.
they'll bring the first one.
They have to rework that game.
I just want it to run at 60 on the Xbox, so just give me that update.
Or it won't or it won't include the second DLC.
The robots one?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you go inside the Xbox.
Oh, okay, I got you. I never finished that
So-
one, so I didn't.
Yeah, you go. It breaks the fourth wall a
Nice.
lot in that DLC, specifically during the final boss fight. And it's like I don't know how it works on PC, but I definitely know it wouldn't work on.
Well, I mean, PC they don't
On
care
PS4.
because it's
Yeah.
Microsoft owns your
yeah.
PC anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the Apple stuff because there's a lot coming out of that. I just want to get through everything before the Apple stuff. There is a news story about Blizzard losing millions of monthly players. That's shocker there. Nintendo announced a new game. It's called Game Builder Garage. It's a Switch
Looks
title.
impressive.
Yeah, it lets you create your own games.
Oh, that's good.
Looks easier. Looks easier than Dreams.
Well, yeah. Have you ever played Dreams?
No.
Holy. Like, I did the tutorial of how to make games, and I'm like, yup, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Um,
As much as I love Media Molecule because they're crazy,
yes.
but boy, it's like I found their tools for making stages in Little Big Planet to be horribly obtuse. So it's just interesting that this is coming out off the heels of Super Mario Maker, which was, I think, a lot easier to grasp.
Well, it's
But
because you
I-
understand Mario. You understand his
Exactly.
stuff.
So I'm hoping, if nothing else, that this is kind of another step in that direction that they were taking Labo in. You know, like in terms of like for kids.
I actually saw an insider tweet that every time he had heard of this game, it was called Labo 5.
Huh.
So, like, it was, yeah. Here's one for you, Anthony. There was a 2000 Sonic kart racing game on mobile, and footage of it is leaked out. It's called Sonic Kart 3DX.
Interesting. I'm
Wow.
assuming it's a Japanese only game.
Yeah, man, this thing
Yeah.
looks like a Sega Saturn game, like straight up. So
Yeah, we never saw half the mobile games that came out from Asia, especially during the Java period. But I'm not surprised. Like, and those games, man, those. I'm not going to defend the quality of Java mobile mobile games, but like, good God, a lot of those are just lost to time completely. Because who was keeping them, or the phone that they were on, and then dumping it, and B, they, depending on the service provider you had and where you were in the world, you had access to totally different stuff. So, like, it's kind of the only way, like, emulating that is kind of the only way to play Doom RPG, Doom RPG 2 and Wolfenstein RPG, which were great, but like the versions that were on iPhone are not available anymore and wouldn't work anyways. Like, so there's just this period of video games that like are completely gone unless you have the hardware to play it on. And or if they're backed up, even like I know that there's a bunch of Rayman games that were mobile. Like there was a kart racing game that played more like the original Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, and I've never actually played it because how would I? And not that I necessarily want to. Like there's all these tie-in games with other game franchises and movies. Did you know there was a Cyberpunk game on mobile?
I think I'd heard that at some point.
Yeah, it's like Mini Me, but which has two M's in the center. So it's MINIMME. I believe he had as a video on YouTube showing that Cyberpunk game. But it's just like, what a weird thing that just, again, you don't hear about. So I'm glad this is out. I hope that more than footage gets released, but
Yep.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
All right. So
Are we going into it?
No.
Okay.
We finally have clarification as to why we have not yet seen Final Fantasy VII Remake on other platforms. It's because Sony has agreed to another 6-month exclusive with Square Enix for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. At this point, just fucking cancel it.
Yeah.
Like, if you want that game to be on the PlayStation, that's fine. Just do that. Don't keep stringing people along that want to play that game. Just say you're not bringing it. And that's fine. You know? Just do it. Stop acting like you're going to do it if you're not going to do it. So, if you were looking forward to playing Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox or PC, you're looking at the earliest, if they decide to do it, probably December. Because that game comes out in, what, June, right?
Dude, I don't remember.
Was it June or August or something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I get it that Microsoft could probably come out and be like, oh, look, Integrate launching onto Game Pass, and everybody would get excited, but it's like, I mean, and boy, was I right when we talked about that game. Fucking, that thing is never going to finish. And if we're having problems, so think about this. You remember all the problems of transferring your saves from the PS4 to the PS5? You know Final Fantasy VII Remake is not going to finish on the PS4 or the PS5, right? I can't anymore. You know, I was excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then that fucking that ending happened, and I'm like,
Well, he's not directing it anymore either, so we'll actually maybe see an ending to this video game.
Shocker that he's not directing it. He starts and never finishes.
The fact that he was... I'm not going into it. Never mind.
All right. I thought I had something else before I moved on to the crazy Apple shit that's been going
I
on.
have some things.
The Mass Effect patch is 84 gigs, and I saw people like,
What?
this is a news story out there, and I'm just like, it's 3 fucking games. It's not a patch, it's the download.
That's true. Yeah, it's 3 games, but still, 84 gig.
It's 3 fucking games.
Although I looked at my hard drive, and because it was the internal was getting big, and for some bizarre reason, I've still got Marvel on there.
Oh,
Avengers.
yeah, that's like a quarter of your hard drive, dude.
That's 110 gig.
Yeah, you can just delete that.
There's a
You'll be good.
garbage pickup comes every week, so you can just dump that shit.
Yeah.
We've got the weekly Game Pass drop, which was Just Cause 4 Reloaded, Outlast 2, Psychonauts, Red Dead Online, Steep, FIFA, Dragon Quest Builders, Final Fantasy X and X2 Remastered, and Remnant from the Ashes.
That was already on there at one point, wasn't it?
It may have been. I mean, games come and go.
Yeah. I saw the developer of Descendants tweet that they've renegotiated a deal, so that's going to be on there for longer. So that's probably how that works. They just
I'm
negotiate
sure it does.
deals,
When they sign a deal, it's like, hey, this is on here for 6 months or whatever, and when it's up, then they just renew that or they let it go. I'm sure
Yeah.
they've got all the numbers for that, which we'll talk about numbers later, because boy, a bunch of shit got out that wasn't supposed to get out this week.
You like numbers? We got numbers.
Oh, we got emails, baby. I don't know if you guys saw those emails, but holy shit.
Who is
Yeah,
this guy? Is he a presenter? Oof.
Of course, courts do not give a fuck about NDA, do they?
No, and I will tell you this. Out of all those, before we get, I'll let you go, Anthony, but before we get into that, I respect Gio Corsi and Phil Spencer because they seem to be the only professional emails that I read this week. Go ahead. I think I am done.
One of the weirdest announcements ever is that we're getting another Flashback game.
Oh yes, I
Like
saw that.
sequel
Flashback
to
2.
Flashback. But we had a sequel to Flashback.
Out of this world.
Fade to
Well.
Black.
Oh, Fade to Black.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
Oh.
that game was bad.
Yeah, so it's like, is this gonna be a remake of Fade to Black, but not terrible?
Let's just forget Fade to Black ever happened.
Yeah.
That game was bad.
And Out of This World or Another World, had a pseudo sequel. Technically, it's a sequel, but it's not made by Chahi, and it's Heart of the Alien, I think, for Sega CD. Anyways, Near Reincarnation, the
What is that
Android.
on? I keep seeing that, but it's
Mobile
mobile. Okay,
phones,
okay,
yeah.
because they never specified it. So
the localization is done, so we'll be seeing that probably within the year, which is kind of awesome. It looks fantastic.
I wish they would bring it to like a console so I could play. Because I have nothing against you if you want to play mobile phone games, but I just can't do it. I've tried.
I get it. I will. I agree most of the time, but god damn it, I will go in for this. Also, I just want to say, like, so Ratchet and Clank, the trailer was.
I refuse to watch it because the game is going to be awesome, and I'm just going to play it.
Apparently, just because I like pointing out good accessibility, Ratchet and Clank's accessibility is being praised.
Wow.
Kind of along the lines of Last of Us 2 was.
Sony's first-party accessibility options are second
fantastic.
to none. They are the
Yeah.
best.
And I just wanted to say, like, that's really nice to hear that that's kind of continuing now, because I at this point I expect Naughty Dog to do it, but like I'm glad that it's kind of going into all their.
It'd have been
major
cool
parties.
if they'd have put some into Demon Souls.
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird one where I'm like, I don't know if they could have.
They said they were going to. But then
were they? Okay, well,
but Bluepoint came out and said that they had considered doing it, but then they were like, "Nah, we want to be true to the nerds."
Yeah, well, that's just it, though. Like, Bluepoint is so true to the source material that, like, you know, I'm sure there was people that hated Shadow of the Colossus, the remake, because it's so true to the original, even with the small made that game way more playable. But I thought I'd bring that up. That's kind of the thing that's going around right now, and I'm happy for that. I wish more people could play video games that have any sort of like disability that affects their game playing. So, all right, let's talk about some drama.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick, I maybe I will play mobile games in the future because like I'm getting dangerously close to switching from Roku to Apple TV. Because Roku,
well, you won't be able to with the new one because the Apple TV remote isn't motion controlled on the new version.
Yeah, but you can hook up controllers to it. So.
Oh, you can. Yes, that is true.
But Roku dropped my TV app, Spectrum. And they haven't brought it back. And now, I don't know if you saw this week, but Roku dropped YouTube.
Yeah, there's something going on there.
Yeah, and it's like, back when they dropped Spectrum, I was like, well, maybe it's Spectrum that's being... And then I saw YouTube, I was like, maybe Roku's the problem.
Yeah.
I still have the YouTube app, but if I ever delete it or get a new Roku device, I can't get it back.
Go Apple, mate. Those Apple TVs are brilliant.
Yeah, but they're like twice as expensive, dude.
They are, but they are really good. Or go for one of the new Google Chromecasts.
No.
They're about half the price.
Chromecast sucks.
No, the new ones don't. The new ones are not. The new ones aren't like the old ones where you just cast. These are actual proper UI experiences that are
I was gonna say
boxes.
I have a Chromecast because they sent me one for Stadia, and I tried to use it, and it's like you got to do this from your phone. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. Like, what is even the point? My TV does.
Yeah, you need a phone. You need a Google account. You need
a Google account, obviously, but you don't need a phone. Well, it helps set up, but you don't. It's not a casting device anymore. It's like Apple TV. It's like a Roku. You get apps. They, for your Plex and your HBO and your Netflix.
I don't understand why Xbox is the only platform that has every app. Like, how do they keep all the apps if like the major streaming devices can't?
I don't know. It's Microsoft.
I understand, but it's fucking Apple. It's fucking Google. It's not like they're small companies. It's not like they're startups.
No, admittedly no.
What were you gonna say, Anthony? You were trying to jump in there.
Who fucking gives a shit? I don't even remember.
Okay, let's talk about Apple and Epic court documents. Holy cow! So I don't even know where to start. I guess we could start with the news story that broke first about crossplay.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm still in shock. Like, I understand Sony's position. It's a shitty position of like, what does this do for us? But it's a business. That's how I assumed it worked. It's not like a revelation. But seeing Epic go like, hey, let's make you look like the hero. Like you were, like making you look good in this situation. And then finding out that Sony charges developers. Like, if you want to enable crossplay on a version of a game on our ecosystem, you have to pay the difference that we think you would make up from not playing on our platform. Like, that's the kind of thing you expect is happening behind the scenes in like some dark, dank alley deals. But like just seeing it out in the open and knowing, how do you continue to defend these companies when you see shit like this?
Well, fanboys.
I mean, I'm not saying that like Nintendo or Microsoft doesn't do this. I would not be shocked if they did. But like, how do you defend a company that doesn't give two shits about you? You act like, for the gamers, for the players, for the whatever, do all this marketing lingo bullshit, which is what it is. How can you still be like, yes, I'm going to stand up for company A? They don't give two shits about you. Man, reading those emails was painful. Did you see the email where fucking Tim Sweeney was like, y'all should do this? Like Anthony, you sent me that email.
Was that the one where it's like, hey, Apple, this or whatever.
Yeah, it said y'all should do this, and I was just like, what?
Well, then, but no, did you not take away the best part of that? Tim Cook doesn't know who the fuck Tim Sweeney is?
Well, yeah,
I
that's
didn't
beautiful.
5 years ago. He said he didn't know he was 5 years ago.
No, but it says, literally, was this one of the guys that talked or at our event, or was it the... And it's like...
You don't even know who he is.
Wow,
It's like,
hey,
new phone,
fuckhead,
who
your
dis?
job is... Yeah, your job is fucking business, and and the question shouldn't be put, like, in such a way of, who the hell is this guy? Come on, be a little bit more professional, says the man that says fuck on this podcast a lot.
I think it was hilarious, the email from Tim Sweeney to Phil Spencer going like, can y'all remove Xbox Live Gold?
Yeah.
It's like, we want Fortnite to be playable without having to pay a fee. And then Tim Sweeney told him, he's like, wait till you see the fireworks, knowing that they were about to pull Fortnite off the App Store and blow up the internet. Man, the dirty business that happens behind the scenes is crazy to see, like, out in your face. It's like,
we know nothing of it.
I know, and what's funny about it is, like, I saw somebody tweet this, and it was the perfect, like, the video game industry works exactly the way you expected it to, you just didn't know. You didn't know that it actually worked. Like you assumed it did, which is even funnier thinking about fanboys defending companies. It's like, none of them give two shits about you.
Well, they still will defend them to the hilt.
But see, the funny thing is now you know.
It won't matter to those people. It won't matter.
Also came out of this that Microsoft has never made a profit on an Xbox hardware. Like, no shit.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, that's pretty
Their
par
job-
for the course.
Yeah, that's their job, is to sell those to as many people as they can, so they can sell software, and that's understandable.
Software and services, man. That's where the money's
Yeah,
made. That's why Microsoft doesn't make PCs,
And that's why we now, if you look at Game Pass, that's why it's such a big thing. It's services. It's making them a hell of a lot of money.
I bet you if Microsoft could get Game Pass on PlayStation or Switch within 2 generations, we would no longer need Xbox hardware. And that's the only time that it would go away. The reason that they have it now is because that's a place for consumers to buy a system to get the service. Sure, you can do it on PC, but most people don't game on PC. I know that's going to piss off a lot of people. Oh, PC gaming, blah, 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 blah. But consumerism for video games is mostly done through phones, and then consoles, and then PC. I think that's kind of the tiers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
But, Game Pass coming to mobile, that's huge for them. It's huge. Now that they can get it on the app. That's why this whole thing is blowing up, is because they wanted to put the Netflix of gaming onto an iPhone, and they ran into a roadblock.
Well, no. I mean, it came up because
Epic wanted more money.
Epic wanted the money, and I don't. Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. I shit on companies sometimes, but the moment they fuck me, they're dead to me. So I don't really care for what happens with Epic. But after talking with some people, Apple does nothing. Like they take 30% and they do nothing for you.
Their argument is that they keep the store safe, and they do that. If you look at the Android store, it's not perfect, but it's a damn sight better than that one. But is it worth 30%? I don't think so.
Like if you have an on, they don't run your servers for that 30%.
No, they don't do anything.
They don't advertise your game.
They host your app. That's it.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't blame Epic to be like, well, you're not doing anything. So here's the thing where I agree with Epic, even though I hate both Epic and Apple for different reasons, but equally.
Yeah, but you don't like anyone though.
I'm an equal opportunity hater.
Yeah.
So yeah, why is Apple taking an amount of what is spent in your app?
Because they can.
exactly the problem. That's not a good enough answer.
But
No,
but that's the way
it's
business
been
works.
fine.
Yeah.
But
That's been fine so far.
yeah, well, it's maybe.
I mean,
maybe
according to
if
America, minimum
Apple,
wage is $7.25 has been
yeah,
okay
exactly.
forever too.
If Apple was offering a better service, I think I would be on Apple's side more. These are two people I don't like. Like, these are two just big corporations fighting it out, and I don't really think anything will be gained from either side winning, really.
No, it's who
For
has
the
the most
consumer.
money for the lawyers, really.
Yeah. I think honestly at this point it's not even who has the money, it's literally who has the better lawyers, because like I don't think anything's outside of the reach of either of these companies.
No.
But it's just like reading the emails and stuff, you're just like, these people are dicks.
Yeah, they're all
And it's
pieces
like-
of shit. Truthfully, the only emails that I saw that I didn't think, oh, that dude's a piece of shit, was Gio Corsi's and Phil Spencer's. Everybody else's, I was like, wow, these guys are dicks.
And again, though, like if there was like, I don't see. I mean, Apple sort of tried to change, but like, you're a gaming. You want to get into gaming, and you don't know who Tim Sweeney is. Are you fucking stupid? Like, do you realize how bad that comes off? And you can say, well, that email's from, but it doesn't matter, because you know that like the Apple Arcade wasn't a choice made in a day.
No.
So, to me, it's like, have some fucking sense in your mind about like what you're getting into and who the big players are. And pissing off Epic doesn't make any sense to me, because it's like, now their engine could be pulled. That fucks over a bunch of developers on your system. Right? Like it.
But also, how much money Apple have lost from arguing with Epic. Now, admit, because obviously it's been pulled from the store, they're not getting a penny out of any of that stuff now. And that thing still, what's that? One of the documents stated that they were made $2 billion in 2 years of a fortnight. So you think about how much of that was on mobile and how much of that was on the Apple Store, how much money they've given up. To them, that what staggers me was to Apple, that was more losing all of that money was better for them than reducing the cut they got.
Yeah.
That to me was staggering.
And again, they did nothing for that money other than host the app, which is what, a gig. They didn't host the server. And like, again, that's the reason why I'm like, as much as I hate both of the parties in this, I have to admit, like, it's like a group project, and Apple's the one that's done nothing for it other than show up to each meeting.
It's because they have that platform. I mean, it's in so many people's pockets that it's worth the money to those people, because, like, well, you're taking it out of, millions of people's pockets if you remove it from the store. So, like, that's their trump card. That's their, hey, if you don't want it to be in front of these eyes, then you don't, you got to bend to our will.
It's a bunch of big businesses going, we don't make enough. So fuck them both.
This is basically what it boils down to. Rich companies want to be richer. That is it.
But here's the thing: I see no benefit to other developers either if Apple wins.
No.
Like, if Apple wins, like, there's going to be zero change. If Epic wins, there might be some change for developers who, like, we might see a change in cut of what developers have to pay Apple, right?
And not just Apple, because this could set the precedent for things like Steam. Microsoft have already put plans in to drop their cut, but you're going to see that in Steam, Google, any service where this has been rife, where they've been taking a cut to host your content.
Yeah.
And that's good in a way, because obviously that means that more money to the developer. But it just makes me wonder how that's going to change. How, if Epic win, if, for example, say, I mean, again, who knows what this is going to end up, but say they make Apple reduce it by half or by 10% or whatever, and that means all the others will have to follow suit. How does that affect those services going forward? Because they've literally just took a cut in their revenue. I don't know how that, that's stuff that I've got no idea how it's going to play out. It's definitely a weird one. And again, as much as I love Apple, and I do,
Whore!
I know, sorry. As much as I love Apple, this is wrong. This is, 30% to basically put an app on a store. And then, it's not just the 30%. It's like your services, like if you subscribe to particular services that do allow you to subscribe on Apple, they get 30% of that cut every single month. That's as much as I love Apple, that's a bit unfair.
I know some people say, well, what's the difference between that and like putting your game on Xbox or PlayStation?
At the moment, it's not. It's the same because it's 30%.
You're yes, the percentage is the same, but like they do a bit of promotion for you on both of those consoles.
Yeah, but I think you have to pay for that.
No, I mean like if you go and they're like, here's the new games.
Yeah, they'll talk about it. They'll talk about it in blog posts. Also, they do quality checks, so it has to pass cert for any console.
Yeah, so like there's...
Isn't that the same for Apple? You have to pass a certain...
I mean, have you seen some of that shit
to get your app on
the Apple Store?
Yeah, I know, he's right. They do a thing, they do check, but it's like, they don't talk about it. They have a team that does go through apps, but it's like, they're unfortunately like us, there's no way that we can just play everything.
And also, I think it is... When Apple do it, it is more to do with to make sure the app is following their guidelines as opposed to a quality assurance kind of thing.
I mean, that's the same though for consoles. It's like, does this run? Does this crash the console? That's it, and then they push it along.
Yeah, they don't check it for quality. Like they don't check it to see if it's a good. Life of Black Tiger made it onto the PlayStation Store. Come on.
No. I like how we went different directions there. Yeah. You went Life of Black Tiger, I said Cyberpunk 2077.
I mean, they're both in the same realm of video games, right? They're both high quality entertainment.
You're both right.
But it's just like, they do have some sense of publishing. And unfortunately, with consoles, if it's a physical release, which a lot of games aren't at this point, it's 30% because you're getting the disc made and all that, right? So, like, there's a lot to be taken that way. Like, yes, it's always been that way. That's not the reason why I say that. Like, it's just that it's okay, but it's like there is a slight difference. Should it be 30%? No, they could probably go a little bit smaller. Especially, honestly, in the way I would work it, I'd steal the. There's a website called Bandcamp. That's where you should buy your music because more percentage of the money goes towards the artists and the labels if it's a label page. But the way that Bandcamp does it is they take a certain amount up to a certain dollar amount. So they take a percentage up to a certain dollar amount, and then once you go over that, they take a bigger percentage. I'm pretty sure, or they take a lesser percentage. But regardless, it's like. You don't get screwed when you're selling less albums. Like it's a smart way of doing it, and they're not taking a lot off the top, and they're hosting fucking terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of music, and they're not charging the amount that. And I realize games are more space and all that stuff, but it's like it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, business should be rethought. And like, I wish there was some way where they would do it based on like, oh, the game has sold this much, so the percentage changes.
One of them does that, don't they? Doesn't Epic do that now?
Epic do that, yeah.
Epic has a bunch of weird ones. They waive if it's Epic game Store and you're using Unreal, they waive a bunch of fees. And I think they just take like 10 or 15%, and that's it. Like, it's just straight if you're on their store. They don't take
I think it's
After a certain amount of sales, I think they
Yeah.
stop taking royalties on it.
they do something that benefits developers. I think it's not publishers. I think it's indie developers only. But I think they do something where it benefits those that are self-publishing.
Yep, and they've lost a shit ton of money on the Epic Store. That came out of the court documents as well. Also,
Yeah.
by the way, Anthony, Life of Black Tiger and Cyberpunk, there's one thing they don't have in common. You can still buy Life of Black Tiger on the PlayStation Store.
Oh.
That's a sick burn.
All right, let's move on to our tweets and email. I have an email from Antonio. He says, "Sup, fellas? I'm about 4 to 5 hours deep into RE8 and just past the part where Duke tells you about the other parts of the map. I'm absolutely loving it. Hopefully, I will have it beat. I have time to beat it and start another playthrough before I depart on the Normandy next Friday."
Well, you should always make time to beat it.
Also, God damn it, John, I am so glad I only played an hour or two of Metro Exodus since launch. I saw the Xbox Series X / PS5 enhanced trailer, and it looked fucking fantastic.
Again, full ray tracing at 60 frames a second. Pretty damn special.
This is all that shit we said wasn't going to happen this generation. 4K
Yeah.
60 ray tracing, and here we are.
Doing all right, yeah.
What
So
is
far.
what is Xbox up to now? Like 150, 120 frames per second games? Oh, I love it. It's too bad you can't buy these consoles, and it's too bad they don't have any games. We're spent playing older games, which, you know what? I'm okay with that right now. I'm looking forward to the new games. Spider-Man was good. Ratchet's probably going to be really awesome. Astrobot was incredible. Microsoft ain't got no games. That's fine.
Yep.
Anyway. Last week we had a special guest on the show and nobody tweeted at us.
Wow.
This week.
Before
Way
we-
to get him
are we-
back.
Are we going to tweets right now?
Yes, why? Did you need
Just quickly, I just want to amend what I said. Bandcamp takes 15%. As soon as it hits $5,000, they drop their rate to 10%, and it stays there as long as you've made at least $5,000 in the past 12 months. That's how you should end up going to digital stores. Like, I feel like Bandcamp has set the standard. If Epic's doing something similar, good for following that suit. But yeah. All right, tweets. Sorry,
All right,
I just wanted to make sure I
Mookie-
didn't have that wrong.
Mookie apologized for not tweeting last week. He said, "Sorry, I was busy. I was just busy working and breaking my fast during this holy month of Ramadan while you guys were recording the show. But holy shit, welcome back, GambusCon, old buddy, old pal. Now stay. Don't you freaking leave next show. I have something for you." Well, yeah.
Oh, unlucky son.
Sorry. He's not here this week. I'm scrolling through. I had a big conversation going on Twitter. Mookie also says there's got to be one messed up birthday I'm having. Well, sorry to hear that. Good to know a lot of happy gamers out there enjoying the new RE game, but I'm excited to play Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So yeah, Puzzle Quest.
Puzzle Quest.
Yeah, it's weird to think how long we've been going and to know that one of the biggest sites on the web died this week, pretty much.
Is that what's going to happen with it, though?
I mean, 3 of the main people just left.
I know, but the one that everybody...
Simultaneously.
Yeah, that I know that they've said it isn't, but that stinks to me of clause in the contract buying, like they had to stay for a certain amount of time.
It feels that way, especially because when it first happened, a bunch of the new people left.
Yes, because Ben and Abby left, didn't they? But
I mean,
yeah,
Brad
I don't know.
leaving, Brad and Vinny leaving
Brad's
is just like,
yeah,
God.
Well, they were both there when the site started,
Yeah, they
right.
both come from the GameSpot.
and then Alex, if it wasn't like then, he was shortly after. I'm pretty
he
sure.
wasn't long after.
He was
yeah.
in PR and then joined
Yeah,
shortly after they.
But
and it's like I know we've kind of shit on them, like that show, not Vinny, I
Vinny's
love
the
Vinny.
best. Without
Vin-
Vinny, like
I like Vinny and Brad.
Yeah.
Those two. Jeff. The problem is that as much as I respect Jeff for his knowledge, which he has lots of, he's the one that is most
he hates
Jaded.
everything.
jaded.
Yeah.
And like I said before, like I think part of it is that like he entered the industry when he was like in high school, and he stayed a reviewer. I'm like, because like the only other person I can think of that's been in the game reviewing industry or the games industry as long was Chris Johnston, who is one of the hosts of Player One podcast, and he entered when he was a teenager as well. But the difference is that Chris Johnston would go on to be the producer of games with Adult Swim. And so, like, I don't know if that affects you too, right? Like, you're staying kind of like
In the same industry, in part of the same industry.
industry. Well, but I mean, like, also still being a reviewer or a personality in that space from the time you're a teenager to when you're, you know, an adult with kids. It's got to be fucking weird, right?
Yeah,
Well, look at
like-
Andy from Game Informer. He finally left after what? I mean, he was around almost as long, if not longer, than Jeff.
Yeah, but was Andy doing it as a teenager?
I don't remember. He's been in this a
'Cause-
long
Because
time.
Jeff did it as a teenager, like as part of the of a newspaper and stuff, and that's how he kept going. Like
I mean, he's still going to keep Giant Bomb going. I have to say that I
with
am
just
going,
him.
Yeah, it's him,
guy.
Jason and Jay, and I guess the guy behind the scenes was it Rory.
Rory, yeah.
And I
But how
guess-
long until they decide to go?
Well, they said they were staying on the. By the way, goddamn, I watched Vinny's Beastcast monologue. That's rough, man. I love Vinny.
I love Vinny because Vinny decided to take a stand for, and it's a great game, so it shouldn't have been a hard stand to take, but a lot of people, I think, shrugged it off. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform.
Yeah, he loves that game. And
He
that
loved
game
that game, and he was just like, it's, and like, he's right, but a lot of people weren't going to go and take that stance because one, it's a Sonic game, and two, it's a racing game, and it's like, you're just like, it's a kart racer.
I just
No,
felt like
it's a
Vinny
fantastic-
liked to play video games.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But
that
it's- I mean,
was something a lot of
as-
those guys didn't seem to do.
Yeah, well, I
As-
can't
as-
speak because I have played very little this stuff. But that's what happens when you forget to take your meds. Take your meds, folks.
All I can say is that site won't be the same.
No.
And it's a
I
shame
mean-
because, again, I think the personalities that left maybe aren't strong enough to carry the site. I don't know what they plan to do, but it's going to make a big difference to my listening week. Let's put it that way. Because
I mean,
again, I religiously listened to both of those.
It's one of those things though. It's where it's not the first time something like this has happened to that site with Ryan Davis dying,
Mhm.
right? Like that was a big effect on that site too. So it's like maybe they'll pull through.
Hey.
It's just going to be a change. It's sad to see these people go, and
They'll be excellent elsewhere though. Wherever they go, they're going to make a big difference.
Yeah, but are they going somewhere else? Or
Oh,
are they
they're not going to
stepping
leave.
out?
They're not going to
Yeah,
leave.
some people.
I mean, some people may. I
step
could
out
see
from-
Vinny doing it because he's got 2 kids, and I mean, let's
Yeah.
be fair, we're all getting older. I mean, we started
Speak for
this
yourself.
podcast. We started this site. Well, I started this site in 1996.
Good lord,
Some
man.
people listening to the show are like, "What is 19? What is that in front
What's
of a year?"
1996? Yeah, fuckers.
And even now,
I
I
was
look
4.
at it, and
You're
I'm just
welcome.
like, I'm tired, man. Like I chat, like I don't want to get into the way the sausage is made, but I talk to a lot of people behind the scenes, and I'm like, they get upset. We didn't get Resident Evil code early, and fighting with PR people about who gets stuff early, and it's like, well, we're not the main people anymore. It's these Twitch streamers, it's these content
Streamers and
creators.
YouTubers.
Yeah, these are the people that, like, I saw a tweet this weekend of, like, the Ninja Gaiden collection, the Twitter feed was out there asking hey, if you're a content creator, hit us up for a code. And I'm like, I probably won't see a code until like a week of the game coming out. Yeah.
But that's how this industry tracks now. It's tracked upon views on Twitch and YouTube.
And that's and one of the things I told somebody behind the scenes is like, I'm glad that I never made this my bread and butter, my what keeps my family
source of income.
Family afloat, because there's no way I could deal with this stress now. Like, I hear these guys like, well, I'm trying to get this out because I've got to hit this number of things and I've got to have this coverage out early, and I'm like, dude, I couldn't. No way I could do that. I just enjoy playing games. I like to take my time.
Yeah, no, agreed. But I don't get me wrong. There are some absolutely fantastic YouTubers out there. Some really good content, both in the gaming industry and other industries. But yes, as you say, from what I hear, the work that has to go in and the amount of work they have to do just to keep their numbers up, to keep that income coming in, is just I couldn't do that.
That's why I don't agree with hot tub streamers, but I get it.
The channel Stop Skeletons from Fighting, which was formerly Happy Video Game Nerd, he talked about leaving his multi-channel network, and like YouTube just assumed like, oh well, as soon as he was off that multi-channel network, sorry, because it's actually him and his girlfriend Grace. But YouTube just is like, well, you haven't had views, and is how YouTube saw it. So it screwed him. Like, the algorithm was like, yeah, but you haven't had a video in 5 years, so why would we share your content with people?
I mean, it is literally
like, what have you done? This is a fucking nightmare.
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah. And again, it's because it's all done by an algorithm, and that algorithm has to hit a certain set of parameters in order for your channel to get the recognition out there, or the views, and it's fucking horrible. I wouldn't be able to deal with the stress. I just wouldn't. It's too much.
This show predates iTunes.
Yeah. Good for us.
No, it's not.
Well, it's good for the site. It's not so good for us, those that have been here a while.
Yeah. Like, I think about those. Like, I remember when we first added to iTunes, we were like many episodes in because it didn't exist. It's crazy, man. It's crazy to think that I've been doing this for 25 years.
And what have you got to show for it?
I mean, a lot of people hate me.
That's fine.
I could go outside and just shit in my front lawn and get the same effect.
I mean, that's true.
To be fair, it's not. You're not doing your job properly if someone doesn't hate you.
That's fair too. I mean, I'm still here doing it while y'all are making fake memes on Twitter. So
nothing makes me happier than looking back, and the first response to the first review I ever was, seriously? ?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how the world works.
It was just like they saw the score for gave away. Seriously?
I mean, I'm not discrediting anybody who gets bent out of shape about online harassment, because it is truly an awful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I am so numb to it at this point that when I see it, the first response I want to give is like, "Do you need a hug?" like somebody yelled at me on Overwatch the other night, and like the only thing I wanted to reply to them with was like a thumbs up. Like, I just respond in kindness, like I don't, dude. There are many more things to be stressed and upset about. Video games,
you're absolutely right,
are not that.
No, great.
All right. Curtis tweets at us and says, "Hey fellas, I missed tweeting at you guys last week because I was busy. Have any of you guys tried out R-Type Final 2? Well, we talked about that on the show. I'm loving it. It brings back so much memories. Also, have you guys heard of a game called Rising Hell? If not, don't sleep on it. It's a pretty decent roguelike. I think
Oh, that's you out then.
I think that game is coming out. Oh, it came out on PlayStation on Friday. I think it's out this week for Switch and Xbox.
Raising hell.
I will probably play it because they'll send me a code in the indie codes. So I'll let you know. I don't.
It looks like something more like you'd play, Ken. It looks like more of an arcade game.
I have now found that there are like 3 roguelikes that I've enjoyed. Returnal.
Yeah, I was gonna say you liked Returnal, didn't you? So-
Returnal is good. I've hit my limit on Returnal. I wrote my review. I'm done with that game. Unless they change some things to it. But I liked it. I think the game is really fun. Rogue Legacy, obviously. And I liked Dead Cells. I did.
Yeah, Dead Cells is fun.
I didn't play a ton of it. I never beat it, but I did like that game. Every other roguelike can go fuck itself.
Oi.
No, I'm kidding. It's just
I'll not have a bad word said about it.
It's just not my jam. And
I know.
if you like those games, cool. If you like roguelikes, Returnal is a must-own. It's like my biggest thing in the review is going to say like the runs are too long, and my God, if you don't know what you're getting into, $70 is a hell of an ask.
Yeah, a lot of people I've spoken to are casual. Like I've got a couple of friends at work who are casual players, and one of them has a PlayStation 5, and he's like, "That Returnal looks cool. I'm not paying £70 for it."
Yeah, but
that is
$70 is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
I mean, I thought about this yesterday, and it struck me really hard about how we sometimes like. Even though we say we don't let it affect us, the fact that somebody sends us a code and we don't have to pay $70 for a game has got to have some impact on how you view a game. It just has to. It has to.
I don't know, man. You're
like you can't just ignore the fact that because I bought Nier, right? Like I paid for that out of my pocket. Yeah. And I'm like, I had to think about that for a while because, I know I like this game. I remember liking this game, but that's $60.
I can tell you right now that, I have spent way too much money on video games in my lifetime. And
yeah, absolutely.
And I know you're in the same boat. But I don't know. It really depends. I was sent. I'm just trying to think of ones where it's there's been a question about it. Minute's $10, and I played through that game in under an hour, I think. But it was one of the best times I had playing a video game for review, and I was like, yeah, that was $10 worth of a game right there. I've played games that are shorter for more money, not significantly more, but still. And I'm like, this was a really well done game, and I enjoyed all the parts of it. And I know that I was questioned about that by someone that didn't like it, but it's it had no effect on me, because if I had spent the $10 and still got my enjoyment out of it, honestly, there's more often than not, I'm playing a game and I'm going, I would have been so fucking pissed if I spent the money on this, rather than, oh, I like this game more because I spent no money on it. Does that make sense? I
mean, it does, and I get where you're coming from, but I just think maybe it's because I've been doing this longer.
Maybe. Early on, for sure. I'll admit that I'm sure that affected some of the scores I gave. But let me just see here.
For example, you're playing a $60 game right now for review.
Yeah, but if I had spent that money on it, I would still like it.
But would you like it $60? Would you have any regrets of spending that $60?
No, because I'm a Pokemon Snap fan. That's unfortunate. I can't remove that portion of my brain.
That's true. That's true.
Give me a second. I'm just looking through my reviews and just trying to think of ones where Override 2. Was one where I went, I'd be pissed if I spent money on this. And the same with the Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope.
Yeah, I think I actually bought Little Hope, and I was kind of mad that I spent the money on that game. I don't remember if I did or not.
No, I didn't. I'll wait for Game Pass.
I still have nightmares about the fact that I paid $60 for the Lost game on 360.
Lost game. Oh my god, that was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lost.
Yeah, that game was bad.
Why did you do that?
I was at the store. I loved the show, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. Well, I bought it.
Whoopsie.
Oh man!
Like maybe I would have felt that way if I had paid. Like maybe it was nicer to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, I guess.
Yeah, I bought that on sale for like $12, and I think I've played through the tutorial, and I've never touched it since. Oh shit! Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm usually pretty good on the. Because I mean, remember, games are when you say $60, I hear anything from $80 to $90.
Well, now it's $70. That's the new price, $70.
And, well, I don't have to worry about that because I'm not on new consoles. So.
Curtis also says, also been checking out Shadow Man on the original N64, and I'm really impressed. GambusCon was nice hearing you on the podcast, man. Hope to hear you again.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Shadow Man is really impressive on the N64 because a lot of game on the N64, and just the controls get so much better elsewhere.
I really am looking forward to when that hits consoles because I'm going to check it out.
They just did a big patch for it, too. I'm just got to start up the original PC version that they've been selling beforehand, just to really get a feel for how different this is. And then I'm writing my review. But Shadow Man's a great game. But like, just the thought of... Speaking of maps, that's what... Honestly, my review... Here's my review. This needs a map.
Well, even if it had one, you wouldn't know, because you don't check.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Come on, we have to have at least one callback in the episode. Come on now.
Yeah, they don't even need a map that tells you where you are exactly. As long as it's a floor map of like, this is the area you are in, and like you could judge by the shapes of rooms and everything. Like one of the patch parts was literally making an area less confusing.
Well, there you go. This should spark some conversation. Curtis says, what are your thoughts on maybe a new revised PS5 because of the semiconductor situation? Do you think this gen could be the last for Xbox consoles if they fail to be profitable? Word on the street is Xbox never made a profit off their consoles, and will Xbox become a service-only platform?
Well, we know that, again, that was no surprise to me. That's
pretty much par for the course for every console manufacturer except Nintendo.
Nintendo, yeah. I don't see that as a problem. I guess it depends on how this generation ends up with Game Pass. What consoles will it be on? Will they have found a real meaningful way of getting it streamed on a box somehow?
We'll have a TV app by the end of next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's all sort of down, I think, to a lot of it down to that. Because in order for them to get the most out of Game Pass, they have to have people to play it on. And at the moment, that is a PC or it is an Xbox. And don't get me wrong, as much as I'm sure there are plenty of PC players out there, a majority of people who subscribe are playing the content on Xboxes. So I think that as it stands at the moment, if it's to stay the same, then there will definitely be another console. But who knows what technological advances will happen in the next sort of 3 to 6 years when it comes to streaming. Don't get me wrong, I think the xCloud service is okay, but it's not perfect. It's not like playing
It's not a replacement. It's an addition. It's not a replacement.
It's a benefit. So I think it's a while off yet, but I don't think Microsoft give two hoots that they lose money on consoles, and especially at the moment, I think they are sitting pretty, making a shit ton out of Game Pass.
Yeah, and as far as the semiconductor thing, see, it feels like kind of like how I feel like Cyberpunk hasn't actually launched yet. I don't feel like the next generation of gaming has started yet. Like I saw this discourse on Twitter yesterday about how like we need to stop calling these things next gen consoles. Well, no, not until everybody can get their hands on one am I going to start calling it a current console. Because I know multiple people who would love to buy one of these that can't.
Yeah, that's it. And and I mean, I don't know anything. I didn't hear anything about this revision. So I take it what's happening is that they're looking at changing it so that they can use a different semiconductor that's more widely available. Is that the case?
I mean, I would assume that would be the case, but by the time you R&D all of that, I'm pretty sure the semiconductors will be available.
Well, it's not even that. Like, I'm sure they're looking to change the size and shape.
Oh, sure. They've been working on revisions
happens.
before these consoles launched.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not surprised by any of this. Like,
but it won't change anything because there will always be revisions to hardware. It happens every generation. Yeah. So that part's not going to change. As far as the way, I think John's right. I think we really need to see how this generation shakes out because more so than in any past generation, I feel like there's not going to be a clear winner. There will be a clear winner as far as how many consoles are sold. That will be Nintendo. And I don't even know why this is an argument because like people are like PlayStation is outselling everything. I'm like, no, Nintendo is outselling everything.
Yeah.
So PlayStation will have, what they have, which is the big tentpole, game of the year first party lineup. Nintendo will be fucking Nintendo and just have some of the most clever and interesting shit that you've never played. And Microsoft will basically be Netflix, where they're like, here's this awesome service, and then in a few years, they're going to start putting shit on there that's like Stranger Things. Think of like the Xbox equivalent of Stranger Things, where they have a game that everybody's talking about, and you have to subscribe to Game Pass to play it. That's going to happen at some point. And I think that's the way it's going to go this generation, is Sony's going to be what people think of when they think of big, first party like Marvel movies, for example. Sony will be the Marvel movies of video games. Everybody knows them. They know their quality. They're super big budget. And they're kind of the zeitgeist when they're happening. Microsoft will be the Netflix. Here are all these really interesting things. Some of them kind of suck. Some of them are middle ground. But there's a couple really good gems in here. And then Nintendo's just going to be like the fucking off the wall. It's Nintendo, man.
Here's the tools. Make your own game, you piece of shit.
Like, here's a new Zelda that is the game of the year. Bitch. Here is the new Zelda that's the game of the year, but here also is some eShop game that everybody's talking about, like Pac-Man 99. Like, Nintendo is just so crazy you can't predict what they're going to do or what's going to take off. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if Labo was huge, but it wasn't. But
they don't care.
But then Nintendo puts out something like Splatoon, and now it's got 2 sequels because people are still playing it. And and it's like you can't even understand. Nintendo's like, here's a game that runs at 12 frames a second. People are like, oh god, give it to me, gobble, gobble, gobble. Like, Nintendo is just so cool about how they make shit. And that's why they're the market leader right now.
Just had to go for the Hyrule Warriors 2, huh?
Oh god, Hyrule Warriors 2. Like, even on my...
When you said 12 frames per second, I'm like, the only...
That game runs like shit.
That
game runs like shit. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, Nintendo is just always like... I don't know how you can hate them. Like, I've never been able to understand people who don't like Nintendo. Like, they're the reason... Well, I mean, they're the reason video games are still fresh, man.
Yeah.
They're so good at what they do, and then when they do, like, a proper entry into their major franchises, it's always fucking, like, the best thing you've ever played.
And sometimes it doesn't even need to be.
No,
like,
it doesn't.
One of their main entries, and you're like, god damn.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, you think of Sony, you know what that is. It's a third-person, over-the-shoulder action-adventure game, probably with some open-world elements. That's their formula. Nintendo, you have no fucking clue, man. And I feel like Microsoft as a company, it's like, well, we're trying to get a hit. We're trying to get a hit.
But they don't have to worry about it because their catalogue is full of hits. Because they've got Game Pass.
Yeah, because
it doesn't have to be their hits.
No, it doesn't have to be their hits. But like, you think about their tent poles, and you're like, Forza, yeah, it's always good. but it never sets the world on fire. Gears of War got stale, and then 5 was pretty good. Halo's kind of sucked for about 10 years. You know? It's like, what else you got? Oh, I don't know. Let's go buy some companies that have good games. So we can say Starfield.
When is your next game? When is your next game coming out?
Dude, when is the next? Like, how long will it be until we have a Microsoft first-party game? Was it going to be Forza in August or something?
God, I think that's the most embarrassing part about
Forza's
it.
not coming out in August.
Oh my god! Like,
The most embarrassing part about all this is the fact that they bought a bunch of companies.
and they have no games yet. Although,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter because it's coming to PlayStation as well. But fucking, I was able to pre-install Psychonauts, like full size of that game, Psychonauts 2.
I got that on my I've got that on the hard drive now.
Which, like, how does that work? Like, that game is apparently done. So is it like coming out soon? What's going on?
Who knows?
It's crazy, man. But Psychonauts 2, I think, will be incredible. But again, it's not an exclusive. Like, that's the other big thing. Like, Microsoft bought Bethesda. Bethesda's 2 games that are coming out, like, next are on PlayStation only.
Yeah. Whoops.
Like, how... Like, you got to think of when they were signing that contract, like, Phil's just cussing under his breath. He's like, motherfucking Deathloop, goddamn Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, you got to think, like, obviously they knew what they were getting themselves into, but you got to think, Jesus.
I mean, how
That
bad
must
is
have
that?
been-
How bad of a look is that you buy a company and their first release is exclusive for your rival console? I mean, if it wasn't embarrassing enough that you haven't put out a first-party game in God knows how long, the fact that the first game coming from one of your internal studios is for the PlayStation 5. Oh, man. Anyway, last tweet comes from John. He says, guys, what's the best movie theater snack combo? Looking forward to going to a movie again someday, and I've been thinking about a gigantic Coke and a huge tub of popcorn with some peanut M&Ms.
I like peanut M&Ms.
So you can switch out those peanut M&Ms for Sour Patch Kids, and you basically have what I would eat at the movie theater.
You're all wrong. I'm going to give it to you. You don't need a large popcorn because you never eat a large popcorn.
Oh, I do. What's wrong with you, boy?
I prefer to have my arteries.
Fuck it.
Says the man. No, fuck you. No, he can't pull that card. The way he fucking eats. Hey, what are you having after the show today, Ken? Ordering a pizza?
No, it's Mother's Day, so I'm going to get my wife. It's a local restaurant called Double Days.
What do they serve?
She wants a Greek quesadilla. They serve everything. They serve
What are you
burger,
getting?
steaks, pizza. I'll probably get a pretzel burger. I mean, why
It's
would?
better than a pizza, but it's just every week, every Sunday.
You know what? I eat
I'm
some.
gonna go. I'm gonna go to Taco Bell. Like then he gives you. Oh, I keep my fucking.
Well, you know, I could eat like a
Popcorn.
rabbit and be 20 pounds like you.
I eat shit all the time. I think that's probably the reason why I am so skinny. It's just the weight of the carbs of all the shit I eat. Ugh.
My perfect is you do get the bucket of soda, which is always a mistake because you got to piss.
You'll have to pee.
You got to piss.
Oh, God, you have to go for a piss halfway through.
I get a small popcorn because I know I don't need any more than that. And then you get a box, Bunch of Crunch. You ever had Bunch of Crunch?
Never heard of it.
Then
Never even heard of it.
You're not living if you've not. It's Nestle Crunch bars, but they're like little.
Oh, I love Nestle Crunch bars.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this crunchy thing, though. I don't think we have that.
Bunch of Crunch is basically a Nestle Crunch bar molded up into like little bite-size.
Oh, they don't do that over here. Oh, That sucks.
Yep, that's my combo. That is my
Nah.
go-to every time.
I would only like it as a bar. This is chaos.
You have not tried this. You do not know how good a Bunch
No,
of Crunch mixed with salt and butter popcorn.
No, absolutely. You
Oh,
don't mix
no
them.
salt. No, I don't like salt and popcorn. Ugh.
You don't like salt on popcorn?
Okay, hold on.
No.
What the fuck are you eating popcorn for?
Yeah.
A sweet popcorn.
No.
Oh,
What do you get like
Get
some
the
of that
fuck out
fucking
of my
European
face.
shit? I don't know.
Awful.
Popcorn, butter, salt, motherfucker.
Damn
No.
straight.
No.
And it's got to be like it's not just a drip of butter, motherfucker. You better drown my kernels.
Oh God, no, that's disgusting.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Do
Fucking
that.
Butter!
Madness.
dude, butter on the popcorn is what makes it. Like, if you're not having butter on your popcorn, why are you having popcorn?
Popcorn. Yeah.
I
You're
don't.
weird.
I'm weird.
No, you're the outlier here.
Dude, if I could stick my head under that thing where they pump the butter,
Oh, okay, never mind.
just give me a straw. No,
Whoa.
no, you would literally die from that, I think.
I know, you'd vomit. That's disgusting.
I mean, or die. You might die. You just ingest butter?
I'm
That
pretty
butter
sure
on-
you'd vomit first.
butter
That's
on the
disgusting.
popcorn. So good. Yeah, I don't eat popcorn with butter, John. What the fuck is wrong?
Is it like, when you say sweet popcorn, is there something on it?
It's like no, it's just sugary substance.
Sugary
Oh, fuck off.
substance. It's
No,
called
I was
butter.
gonna say- I was like,
No,
I was
it's like sugar. It's
I was like, what if it was like caramel? You know what I mean? I was like, okay.
Well, then it's caramel corn. It's not.
Yeah, I know, but like maybe they don't call it that over there. No.
no, it's not. Yeah, I don't know.
Got some
There's
fucking
toffee
weird
popcorn,
name for it.
which is toffee popcorn, which is what you're on about. That's that. But those
See,
sweet
I
is
told
like
you they had a stupid name for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's one of them British ass names I can't get down with, John. It's just fucking popcorn with butter on it.
it's not. It's toffee popcorn because it hasn't got butter. It's got caramel on it.
Why do you guys have
Yeah.
to make everything sound like it's more important than it is?
Coming from the Americans, well done.
Not our food, John. Our food is named appropriately. What is that? That's a cheeseburger. What are those? Those are fries. No, it's not chips. It's fries. Don't be confusing.
Now, to be fair, the English have that right. It's a chipped potato.
No, it's
So,
a French
technically-
fry. You shut your mouth and you go eat your poutine. Which is not.
You say that like that's a punishment.
Yeah, but it's like that name, you want to talk about talking fancy, that has neither of the ingredients in the name. French fries and gravy is called poutine. How's that work? That's right, you're speechless. You got nothing.
They believe the word is commonly believed to have originated from the English word pudding.
It's
as
not
the word French
pudding!
pudding. Hold on. Used to describe a mixture, typically messy, of various foods. It's not pudding as in like Jell-O's version of pudding. It's like a traditional English pudding.
Also, it's fancier than it needs to be, is what you're trying to say.
No, that's
You
what
just want to
you're
make it
trying
sound
to
like
say.
you're not
I'm
eating
calling you
deep
an
fried
asshole. There's a
potatoes
difference.
with gravy smeared on them.
How come this is all of a sudden pick on the British guy again?
I don't know. No, it's just fight the Commonwealth at this point. Fuck.
Oh shit! Now I'm hungry and I'm ready to
Shut
go
up and
pick
eat
up
your
the
freedom fries, you piece of shit.
What the fuck is a freedom? Like when somebody called them freedom fries and I punch them in the face. Those are not
fun.
freedom fries. They are French fried potatoes. That's it for the show. If you want to tweet at us, it's at N4G Podcast. If you want to shoot us an email, podcast at ZTGD.com. I promise I'm trying to keep Gambus on a regular schedule. He does work every other Sunday.
Yeah,
So
which is why I knew he wasn't going to be here.
yeah, I knew he wouldn't be here for sure, but I will poke and prod him to come back on regularly. So hopefully all y'all that missed that chance to talk to Gambus will get that chance. But do note that even if he is here, it would not be every Sunday. You know, if we were worried about clicks and likes and views, I would be paying him money to be on the show. So there is that. Not that I have money to pay for anything. But anyway,
You don't
feeding-
have that money because you're buying a bunch of cables.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
9 feet.
That's
cable.
called a throwback, Ken. See, we got 2 in this episode.
I love it.
Oh dear.
I love it. Wouldn't miss the show for the world. That's why we're still here. 12 years? 12? 12 this year? I don't remember the first episode of the show. 2006?
Jesus, that's before the Xbox. No, it was when the Xbox.
No,
360
one
came
of the
out,
first games we talked about was Dead Rising when it was a new release.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Why?
Yeah. Phoenix Down wrapped up Lost Odyssey this week.
Oh, they finished it, did they?
Yeah, they're
Well
finished.
done.
The next game they're doing is it Assassin's?
Yakuza.
Kiwami.
Is it Kiwami or is it Assassin's Creed? I thought they were doing Assassin's Creed too.
No. That's no. They're doing Yakuza.
Well, that was the next one.
It's Yakuza's the next one,
Okay.
and then it's after that is whatever they're doing.
Okay. They're doing that. So check that out. Again, that's on YouTube, Spotify, all your favorite podcast services around the world. Because I was gonna break into all around the world but then I was sad because I remembered Humpty died.
What?
Digital Underground? You never listened to the Humpty Dance?
Nope.
I don't know if they were big in the UK.
Nope.
One of the greatest rap groups of all time. Lead singer died.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in that movie Nothing But Trouble with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. They did the song. Oh man, go look up Digital Underground. They're a great band. But if you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm at ZTGD. John's at John WUK. And follow the site at ZTGD Content. They post things. They talk about video games. Mostly they just, when we put up a new review, it's on there. I don't have anything else. I didn't have
Good,
to.
we can go.
I didn't have to do the thing last week because he was here and he did it live. But this week,
Oh, he did it live.
he did it live, John. You missed it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but this week it'll be pre-recorded, so enjoy that. And if there's nothing else, we'll get out of here. So peace.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. Welcome to the N4G podcast. Zero tolerance.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat.
I always live being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.